Hello everybody! This is Elson speaking. How's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic time because this is a beautiful, beautiful day in Perth, Western Australia. You are looking right at the home studios of my place, where I'm working on Edenspell, created by me and Gabrielle. So, what we're gonna do tonight? Quick update, quick news. Actually, let me quickly post that I'm doing the live stream by going here. Woo! Who are the three people watching here right now? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we. Oh, Starter Wolf is already there. Hello, good to see you. Hope everything's going well for you. I'm just gonna post this live stream chat on the right hand side. Posting on the Eden Chord right now. Yeah, I think I'll keep the Twitter feed as it is right now. So, okay. Just gonna put on my gloves, got my tea ready, and I'm going to start getting those colors up and running. So once again, for those who have just entered, just gonna pause right there. I'll wait until there's more people, and then I'll start doing the introductions. Yeah, once again, just repeating myself, huh? Okay, let me play the music. It's getting dangerous. T-Lopes is the man. Gonna pause the music. So say something. Okay, so I just got the comments. I got the thing rolling. Keep the t-shirt on. What are you talking about? It's better when I go. Ah! No. Singlet, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'm just gonna get those colors ready for this page, and I better make a duplicate of this ink page too. Right there, right now. Ink final. Grand final. Okay, just let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. And then before I proceed with the legal proceedings, do I make myself clear? Yes, Antoine Nicoletto. Okay. Ooh, everybody knows that there is such a thing as love. What the hell? I ain't making any sense. Singing the song. So where would the campfire be? Alright, fellas. If I just go like this. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Oh! Lisa Teresa says, when will Tamberlane be out? Most likely when I come back from my trip to business/family vacation trip to Malaysia and Singapore in 10 days. So as soon as I come back, I'll try to work on the audio and then get back to Edenspell. Yeah? Hope that answers your question. So I think if we combine the two together just like this, yeah, I think we got a winner. Can you see how it's a bit too? We need a bit of purple, And now we can just color. Just randomly color. Let's get back to that one. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I'll get onto the chat later soon. I mean, live stream, and anyone can hop in, right? Actually, no, we should do that in about 5 minutes. Yeah. Such a good song. Actually, I bet it borrows the same colors as this one, huh? Bring on the saxophone. I love it! I've forgotten to save it just now, which is pretty damn embarrassing. Ooh, good track, this one. Let's get ready to jam. Come on, Mr. Sonic. 3, 2, 1, go! Ha! Come on, Mr. Sonic. Okay, now let's close the music. And we got Lisa saying you should also do some comic dubs of those comics called Irma. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Now I'm just gonna go into the last. I'm just gonna go to the tavern. I'm heading to the tavern if there's anyone who wants to get their ass on the show. Come on! I better start the timer too. Cause everybody knows that there is such thing as So let's have a look here. Okay, he's pointing out something. Silas.
Hi, Elson.
Oh.
Hi, Bane. Hi.
Oh
Yeah, we're all here.
What the?
Yep. Squad's all here.
I was like, whoa, shit! I'm putting my hands up like this. Like, shit, I'm caught. Oh man! I was like, what?
FBI, open up.
Yeah, this is scary, man. It's like the power of social media and the shit that it can do to ruin people's lives and scare the shit out of them. No, for real. Seriously, man, it's been a mind trip this week about the Vic case. Does anybody know anything about? Oh, so Bane, you've been following it? Have you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Dude, did you see when Nick Recader came in? Like, this is 2 days ago, right? And there's some random dude on Twitter was saying, he's not a lawyer. Or like, what a load of bullshit. It's like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, sure. Come onto the stream and just prove your point. And when he came on, that random dude who apparently has connections to Vic, and he also has connection to allegedly, from what he said, running conventions, the contracts that he does, and man, okay, I'm gonna post that link to you guys because it is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was great.
Oh man, you guys gotta watch it, man. Seriously, I mean, it gets really annoying, but thank God Vic is so good at he conducts himself so well. He's very polite, like letting him speak, and the guy's just constantly harassing the dude. And it's like, hey, this is my show, and I gave you 10 minutes to speak, and let me have my say about my point of view and what you just claimed. And they're like, man, just studying the way he talks and replies, and he does it with grace and comeback, and just you can definitely tell the difference between a noob and just a professional, man, and what he does. So, like, yeah, I mean,
yep.
So me and Bane has seen it. Ersatz, Johnny, Masturbates, Tim, have you seen that live stream? It is worth your money. It is like and if you read because this live stream also has like a justice chat section where you donate money. He reads out all the super chats. Like whenever you don't donate money, you write a comment, it gets highlighted. He'll read every single one of them. And man, when the shitstorm was going on, it was like, man, who the fuck's this dude? Like, why is he coming? Get him out of here! It's like, whoa, like, Bang, could you just explain some of the absurdities that the guy dished out to this Nick? And just tell him, give me some highlights. Just give me some highlights.
Oh God.
Yeah, you explain it better than me. Just trust me. It's just crazy.
Fucking hell.
Where to start?
Maybe now is not a good time to tell you that I only catch the tail end of the stream just after he got off.
Oh.
But it was a fucking bloodbath either way.
So you caught out at the end. I caught up I listened to the whole thing, and it got to a point where it's so annoying. The dude was fucking annoying. Like really, if it was me conducting that interview, I was like, dude, get out my stream, man. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But he's so fair.
I mean, I've seen the Tonkasaw interview, so.
Oh, okay, so something similar, right? Yeah, they did
something similar, but it was way fucking better.
Yeah, no, I think this was like a complete fuckery of the dude. Like, I reckon he was. I mean, I don't want to give too much credit to the dude. I think he was a professional troll, or maybe in real life, if he really is what he says he is, fans of anime conventions.
No, I don't think he's a troll.
A little bitch.
I think.
He was a bitch. He was a cuck.
I think he's trying.
No, he just wants attention.
He's like I want to say he's a false Vic supporter.
Yep, false Vic
supporter.
But that's one.
Yeah, like a page shell.
Yeah.
yeah, just everything about the dude. And then like, did you see how embarrassing it was when like, hey, answer the question. I gave you something like hey, even I couldn't keep up because I'm not that intelligent with like the law and stuff, but it's considered like law 101. There was a question he asked to the dude, and he was like, just trying to avoid the question and like coming up with like, oh, you're wrong, and
Yeah,
you know,
he
Vic's
tried to. From what I know, he tried to bullshit a fucking lawyer.
No,
How do you?
Bane, dude, don't. Okay, I know that the feedback was incredible, but it's even more so incredible when you hear how he conducts himself. And then like, Nick was just so well conducted, and like there were moments where he was really like, I mean, I wouldn't say angry, but he was frustrated. Like, hey, dude, just answer. And like, he's giving solid points about the section this, section that, and like, do you know what you have to do? Texas law, this and that, and like, yeah, you know what? Like, Vic's siding with me, and like, what the fuck?
Here's another thing. Nick has contact with
Yeah, he does.
Nick has contact with Vic Mignogna's whole legal team.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was the news right there, and I just checked out the tweets with the people who are affected by this, like, you know, the accusers and shit. Oh, you gotta see this tweet, man. There was one girl and the like fiance. I don't think they were married, but like she's the voice of Bulma. So Bane, do you know about that one? Where she's
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Yeah, I want to cut. Was she
Monica
the one who
Rial.
said, Monica Rial. Was she the one?
Oh, is this about that comic book guy that got fucked over by his own employees?
Ooh, no, that's another case. That's another case.
Oh,
this
okay.
is more focused on the voice acting industry.
Voice acting. Never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Yeah. No, seriously, you guys, man, you gotta follow this shit because it is gonna be precedent. Like it's gonna set
Precedent.
Precedent. It's gonna set.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where if this case is won, man, it's gonna open up to some big things, man. It's like, wow.
Really?
Yeah, no, really. Look, I don't usually follow this kind of stuff, but this is interesting. Really interesting shit. And it's just mind-boggling how...
Yeah, I'm just gonna say a lot of...
The social justice warriors...
a lot of voice actors, especially in the anime industry...
Yeah.
A lot of voice actors in the anime industry, especially the Texas scene, are fucking terrible.
They're fucking terrible.
They're fucking horrible people.
This is like it's opening up a can of worms, like stuff you did not know behind the
scenes.
It's like, it's one of those things. You gotta listen to.
Yeah, here's the thing: they were horrible publicly for a long time.
Yep,
it's just now people are paying attention.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's a well-loved person that they're sort of being horrible to.
It's like I think this would have happened if it weren't for Recator Law, like Nick Recator, like because he is not even. First of all, he's not his lawyer, Vic's lawyer. He's just if you guys don't know him, he's like a local attorney in Texas, and he's just doing these live streams as an extra form of income, just to educate people about the system, the theories, how it works, and he's on cases where it's like really bad, he debunks them and all that. So yeah, he's built up a following, and I reckon this is gonna what makes him even more like famous because of the fact that he contributed. He's detrimental to this cause, this thing that could put them to win this case of Vic Mignogna. And dude, like just the level of backstabbing from the voice actors who worked with the dude for like, what was it, 20 years, 10 years, something?
Oh, even I think 30 actually.
30, yeah, and suddenly just turn a blind
eye.
It's been
when did the first Broly movie come out?
92, I think.
Yeah, like but over 30 years.
But now this is like focusing on the new Broly movie that just came out, and then now he got but I love how he is expanding the discussion by saying what are the implications, what are the consequences, what are the what happens after, like how will businesses be affected, how will the voice actors be affected, their careers, the tarnishing of the reputations, and like what does this mean for the anime community, the fans who want it's so deep. The rabbit hole is so deep. We can go from micro level to just now. I'm listening right now. Which is the one 25th. Okay, so this is maybe like a week ago. Vic Vignana Council revealed. Okay, so the council's revealed like who's the actual formal legal team.
Oh yeah, there's.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's got some high class lawyers.
Yeah, and Vic, Nick.
Definitely litigation level.
Yes. And then
The people who fucked them are gonna get
fucked
in return.
Fucked in return. I knew nothing about. I mean, I know very basic.
One of them was a Texas state senator, so yeah, he knows law.
He knows. Oh god damn. And then like when I because like this morning when I did my exercise, my training, I had a routine, a good routine where okay, in order to finish this Edenspell page, I gotta like sleep at this time, eat at this time, exercise at this time. This morning when I listened to this episode, I was like, oh shit, I wonder what the tweets are like now with the victim, the people who were harassing Vic initially. Man, the level of like public support for Vic and what they're saying back to them is like, oh, you know, it's your fault, man. You did it to yourselves. Expect a lawsuit.
They basically went after an icon of the, I guess, voice acting industry. He's done a bunch of well-loved roles. He's been Broly. He was Edward Elric from Full
Metal Alchemist.
Wait, he did Edward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, man. Like, it's just, and he's like.
I mean, he was the only good part in Ruby.
What, he was in Ruby?
Yeah, he played Crow.
Oh, now I can hear it.
Shit.
Like, just,
Everybody loves Crow.
Please.
Yeah.
Just look at the tweets and how the repercussions of what they said. Like, they didn't know the consequence of what said can be liably sued for what they said. The defamation and the harassment and all that shit. Like, what was it that she said? I want to cut your balls. Find this guy and cut his balls.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's how bad it is.
Wow.
And then the husband is like, haha, like we're laughing. It's like, you know, supporting her basically. It's like, just man.
These people are fucking sociopaths.
Yeah.
It's been said before, and especially in the circles that I run in regarding anime, but these people are sociopaths. The only thing they care about is, well,
getting money out of this.
Yeah, and they're in their comfort zone. They just want essentially political backpats. That's it. I reckon you're right. You're right, because a lot of these people are like, I don't want to use the social justice warrior tag, like, oh, feminism, and are you a bigot? You know.
They're definitely that.
Yeah, and actually now I'm understanding the psychological effect on the men who were working with them. Like, oh shit. Like, I'm talking about if there were some level of like understanding of what Vic's going through, they would have said, shit, man, like, you know, I should think twice about what she said because.
Oh no, I think they.
No,
I think they know. They just don't care. Because like I said,
yeah,
sociopaths.
I see what you mean by that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But I reckon some of them have some heart where they could have like thought twice about the situation. Like, you know, I'm a guy, and you know what? Should this shit happen to Vic, does that mean in future this shit could happen to me too? You know what I mean? Like,
it's happened. It was even beforehand at a higher level. Remember Justice Kavanaugh?
Oh yeah.
He basically got falsely accused of that shit too.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that all of these rape accusations are occurring because there are incentives to do so, not because they actually happen.
They've got power.
Oh yeah, and the amount of political power that you get from it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how all this started? I can actually go back to like fucking almost more than 10 years ago.
Maybe more than 10 years, yeah. Victim shaming shit.
A lot of this started because Vic Mignogna didn't want to sign a yaoi fan art of Edward Elric because it was like, I don't consider this canon. I consider this actually disrespectful to the characters.
Okay, yeah.
He really cares.
And yaoi fangirls are fucking insane.
Oh, I see what you mean. So, man.
So they started like running rumor mills, and it just kept on building up and building up.
And so some revenge.
And now we're in this like era where people are, especially people on the left,
that fucking makes sense.
Are just okay with destroying people's lives for innocuous little things.
Yeah.
For their own personal.
That is
essentially for their own personal gratifications, or in some cases, clout, as with the case with Mars Girl.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but now that people are actually taking legal action, they're learning to fuck off. Because this is a lot of shit. So when they have to face real world consequences, that's when they know when to shut their mouths about it.
And it's that.
We're going to do this middle school gossip stuff. Oh no, this is actual against the law. Oh, please don't sue me, please. I'm sorry. Don't sue me. Let's all be friends again.
I know. Vic is basically a Hallmark Channel. Basically, a Hallmark Channel character come to life, but I hope he goes in raw with no lube.
Me too. Yeah. No. Yes. You know what? After watching all these streams, like, I'm starting to understand like all these terminologies that the new generation people are starting to use. Like, cuck. Remember when I told you guys what's a cuck, and you guys were like, "Oh man," you're like, I'm like, "Wow." Now I understand the context. You see, it's important for me to actually see a real life case and see how it's applied rather than just a definition. And and soy boy, I was like, what the fuck's a soy boy? And soy. See, you guys are because you know what it is. I'm so far behind all this shit, man. It's like I'm educating myself slowly. I'm so
glad. You're basically a 30-year-old boomer.
Yeah. For reals. Like,
well, that and people who aren't like super into the internet always get left behind a lot. It's like, oh, I'm gonna check Facebook and see how my friends are doing. Like, if you're engrossed in the internet culture war and you're really into all this, it comes at you like lightning. It's just you pick up a new term, use it, and it's just accepted in really short amount of time. All the terminology, all the new tactics and everything.
I want to go back to your point, It's like when you say about the consequences of their actions. You see how important it is that this is set as a precedent, because it will let all other motherfuckers know that, I mean, the people who are like, oh, I don't care, I'll say whatever I want to ruin people's career. They'll think twice about it.
Bitch.
No, mate, like, I just did a little bit of digging here and there. Actually, is the Goku voice actor also involved? No, that director.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh shit, man.
He's been peddling the allegations as well.
Okay, but is he doing it the smart way? Like, he actually got an attorney to help him out. Like, don't go into social media. Oh, okay.
No, he's doing it social media style.
And the voice of Vegeta too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm losing respect for all my fucking favorite voice actors.
Yeah, it's like.
What? I never had respect for them to begin with. The only one I continue to have respect for is Crispin Freeman, because it seems like he's just staying out of it. Oh yeah, and Chris Ayers, voice of Frieza, is sort of on Vic's side.
Yeah.
Oh. Even though he's a hyper fucking liberal, he's just like, well, fuck it, I'm dying, I'm supporting Vic.
And then again, going back to this, that's what you're saying, like, oh, boo hoo hoo, like now the lawsuit's coming out, I'm crying. Literally, like they're doing things like, what was it? They tried to post a video, hey, this harassment is not on, and blah blah blah. Like, they're doing these counter videos or comments to spread the word that Vic's in the wrong, knowing that they don't have any evidence to back the shit up. I'm like, wow, why are you guys stooping this low? Actually, no, I can understand. Like, if I'm in that position where I'm already in the gutter, I'll do whatever I can to kind of like save myself. But there's no going back.
I don't know if you ever saw the movie. But at the end of Starship Troopers, they capture the brain bug and they drag it out of a cave. And Carl goes up and he puts his hand on, and it's just like it's afraid. So it's like that thing. Wait, hold on, maybe I should just send the clip. That's like the only thing I think of now is it's afraid.
It's No, I gotta read. Seriously, it's just mind-boggling with a combination of after listening to that hack who who came on, and Bane, I recommend you just start from beginning, listen to that, and listen to how Nick was like, "Dude, you're wrong," like blah blah blah, and then again, like he's so calm and
Again, you don't bullshit a lawyer when it comes to the law.
fuck, man, it's like, whoa, this dude is like, and then what's funny was when he was trying to answer the question, he was flicking through his computer using Google. No, seriously, to look up on the theories and terminology to see if he can understand. And you can literally see him scrolling up and down. He was either on his own Discord channel or like looking through like, you know, Wikipedia to answer his question. Oh my god,
Yeah.
embarrassing. I was like, shit, I'm seeing this live, man. This dude in an apartment who's, I don't know, sitting in a sweaty chair and everything's run down. I don't know. Some rando, man. Like, whoa, mate. You have...
Motherfucker lives in a fucking, I want to say a fucking trailer.
Yeah, but if I want to, if human
The trailer park egghead.
I mean, it's too easy to bash people like this, and like if we put ourselves like show some empathy, like, you know, he has kids apparently, like there's photo albums of the family with a daughter. I'm like, shit, it's like this guy's a family man. He's running contracts for Vic at anime conventions, and apparently there was a moment where
I highly doubt
I know,
that.
I highly doubt that. And then like, what was that? I don't know specifically what he said, but it implied that this guy is like a... Okay, what the guests replied to that allegation was like, man, this vibe I'm getting from this dude, if he really is what he really says he is, he freaks me out, man. He's like, I think he's a
He came off as like an extortionist.
Yeah. Mention about the kids. This is what the fuck? It's like, why anime conventions are for like all ages, you know, like family friendly event, and now you got this guy who doesn't even know. I mean, well, not over, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and I want to selectively pick a section for you guys to see, and it's like, no, you don't get it. Legislation 101 says in Texas, blah 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 blah. It's like this. Answer the question. Yeah. Okay, you know what? You're just a reason why Vic's failing at this, and but I was like, oh my god, I'm like, everyone in the chat room, they're like replying and saying like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? It's like, I can go on and on. It's insane. It is to the point of insanity. In fact, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the damn link. It's so crazy. Okay.
Hey, Elson.
Oh, I didn't see. Stuart. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Indeed.
Hey.
I'll be right back.
It is mad. Okay, so this is the link. Just click on that when you get a chance. It's how many hours is that? You don't have to listen to the whole thing, but Bane, I highly recommend if you have time, just listen to how he's just raining down on him with facts
and logic.
Very articulate.
And Ben Shapiro just achieves apotheosis through logic.
Yeah. If you love those videos where they're shaming them for like, oh, you know, abortion, this and that, how do you describe like what? How do you justify the this and that? And they're like, no, you're wrong because it's still a baby. It's a human life. It's like, no, it's not. From the moment it's like, no, you don't understand. It's still a human being from the point of like. Anyways, I'm.
And then you got New York out here with the nearly post-birth abortions.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the. Okay. If you see in the live stream, having a drink with someone more famous than Ron Toy. Ron Toy is the fiance of that voice actor. Who is she? Man, if you the girl, one of the girls. Monica Rao. Okay, the main players are
Monica Rial.
Jamie Marchi. She's the one who said cut his balls.
Jamie Marchi. I think she's a voice actor and she's also a script writer as well.
Whoa, she's gonna get the shit suit out of her too. So Monica Rial, welcome back, and I'm just This is what Ron says on the 20th. This is about a week ago. It's hilarious that people call me a cuck. I don't care. I've said what I said. I can admit when I was wrong. I was mad because someone assaulted my fiance and many of my friends, but I could have handled it better. This guy doesn't know me, but I won't hide from his words. if I just click down, there was something that was like one of those moments. Like you dropped it. You dropped it. Shit, it was so good. I gotta find it, man. It's just so bad. They're running away. Like, I think that the decent thing to do is to actually say, I'm sorry. I want to apologize, and let's try to work out a deal. Actually, no, it's too late for these guys.
I don't really think just saying sorry after you try to destroy a man's career is really going to suffice.
Yeah.
It's like BP saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we leaked several thousands of tons of oil into the Gulf and destroyed nuclear system. Sorry, guys."
Yeah, if it was up to me, like bodies would be hitting the floor. That's all I'm saying. Like, you destroy a man's reputation. You essentially destroy his career.
And just
You
his
do
life,
not deserve.
too.
Yeah, his life. You do not deserve to come out of any of this unscathed.
Go to jail.
Like
Bitch.
Yeah.
There's something that money comes.
Especially when you're knowingly doing this.
But Bulma's hot.
It's a drawing. Of course it's
You
hot.
fucking weeb.
I also want to say I acted childish. Monica was under attack. I responded to the same profanity. Vic needs help. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Vic needs help for what he did, but I could have handled this better. No one wants division. Sorry, I can't produce additional evidence, but I'm changing the way.
Nobody wants
I go about
division.
this.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, bull
Holy
fucking shit
shit.
coming from the people
Okay.
making the division.
That's what I'm sorry.
Silly goy.
No, it has to be called out. This behavior is not acceptable. Sorry for the folks who are listening in as well in the chat. I'm gonna take my time to rant because this is so. And with like-minded people here, my lovely folks from Eden Court. Say hi, by the way. We're live.
What's up?
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
guys.
Oh, we're live.
Hey guys,
Yeah, man.
we're live.
I hope you.
All right, I'll try to cut down on the.
No.
I'll be less edgy this time.
No,
Listen, this is an Australian server.
You're not swearing enough.
All right,
Fine.
I'm Australian. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Okay, so I go about this.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
Don't hate. What? Don't need any more hate. To the people I was rude to, I'm sorry. To Vic Mignogna, I hope you get the help you're working on. Oh, okay. This is the thing. I hope you get the help you're working on. And I would like to talk to you man to man on the phone to address my issues and extend an olive branch. I didn't know what that meant, but now I understand. If you you can explain to the people in the chat if they don't.
If it's anything to what that Sean guy who was on Ricada's stream is going by, it's probably gonna be like, listen, just admit to the thing you didn't do, and we'll essentially give you back your career, like extortion, basically.
Yes. Okay. And the replies to that, there's a meme where who's the cat god in Dragon Ball Z?
Fierce.
Fierce slapping Bulma. No, you see it right
Yes.
there. And then the guy replied, "Oh, girl, he's scared." That
Amazing.
He's scared that this scene will become reality. Slap. Oh my god. What else?
Snap.
You're such a coward. I've seen so many males more of a man than you could ever dream of. Vic is one of them. This entire time this is obviously a supporter, has been saying to not attack or spread hate while you and your hussy of a fiance has been doing just that.
Ooh.
Threatening people and being hateful towards anyone questioning you. Seems to me Funimation is corrupt allowing this bullshit. So like...
Yeah, they allow that bullshit because it's a clique. It's not really... It's a clique disguised as a business.
Yeah, it's basically some nepotism, so a bunch of friends are working together rather.
Okay.
Is this specifically? I'm sorry, but is this specifically in like the anime industry, or is this?
This is
bigger?
This is specifically the anime industry, but
Yep. You can
You
Yeah,
can
it's a
say
bigger
the same
issue.
thing for some Western comics, like
Yeah.
Marvel and shit like that, where they just hire their friends. Just like,
Okay.
oh well, I guess some of the stories weren't liked, but hey, movie sales always be the crutch.
Yeah, none of these people will get fired unless Funimation goes under because because again, like it says, this is a click.
It's okay. This okay. I found the tweet. Okay, so I remember like somebody. Okay, this is amazing. Like, there's another thing that I've learned. Like, because of this bullshit stuff that like we can easily ruin a man's career. The people who are fighting back are now starting to learn ways to kind of help out the opposite side of like this is wrong. We got to do something about it. And the evidence gathering is just phenomenal. Like all the tweets that people they tried to delete, they managed to get it back, or I don't know what.
Oh, they put it through archive.is.
So that's what
I willing to bet a bunch of internet autists are fucking archiving that shit as we speak.
That's the thing, and that's why it made the lawyers who are helping Vic's case smooth sailing for them, because it costs even more money if they did it themselves. Now that because it's funneling through Nick Recader, who's passing on this information, solid information, documentation, whatever it may be, chat logs, messages, Twitter feeds, and all that stuff. It's just made it a hell lot easier. And guys, it's getting to the crux, man. I think they're knocking on their doors like this as we speak. This week.
They're on Vic's lawyers. Yeah, they're on Twitter and they're saying we'll be in touch.
Yes, you saw that one. That's the one that I saw. Okay, this is the one. And then like again, if you listen,
I almost read that at lunch.
Okay, so seriously, like, sorry for interrupting, man. Like for that, talking about Vic's lawyers, if you listen to that, he says like incredible source. He has connections and this and that. They're gonna sue their ass. And then like when I saw the Ron Tai, he says, okay, this is in reply to. I wish I had the thread because David Laus and Berluminatai, like two Vic supporters, were saying like, hey, this is wrong. You shouldn't do this. Blah blah blah. Screw you, you and your like fiance. Ron Toy says something like, "No, he isn't. You trolls think him lawyering up was an offensive move. Sorry, it was defensive. He knows the skeletons he has hidden that are coming back to haunt him. Smiley face. And then
yeah, what skeletons? This man is probably the most filmed man in the voice acting industry.
Exactly. And then the next.
Just
let me finish this. The next reply to that was Ty Beard, which is one of the prosecutors and the lawyers. We will be in touch. And this is where everyone's like, oh. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Nothing. Like, they would have found something. I'm just saying, they would have found something.
Jesus Christ.
Free me from this whack-ass crystal prison.
There's no escape.
Yeah,
but right.
I'm gonna close it. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's exciting because they're on a win, and I really wish them all the best of luck. Anything can happen. It might not work out because it's all dependent on their strategies at the end of the day. And see, I mean, despite the amount of mounting evidence that they are in the wrong and that they're gonna get charged for this shit, who knows? Something bad.
Oh, there's been a shit ton of evidence. Like, you've seen the podcast I sent you, how this all started to kick off because, because someone very close to an anime news site got, really close. Like, had parties with the staff there.
Oh, man.
Was caught soliciting sex from minors.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Da-da-ba.
And they started this entire shit show to essentially deflect from all that.
It's like,
disgusting.
It's disgusting, right? Like, to what extent? Like, why I think this is like pure malice.
That makes it even worse.
Makes it even worse, right?
I mean, it's already bad enough ruining Vic's career and his life over something he didn't do. But, like, doing all that to cover up for a fucking pedophile? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So this is why it's much more deeper than just...
Essentially, they don't want to answer any questions regarding Hazukari, the pedophile in question.
Oh, God. So basically, they were using Vic as a scapegoat then, like, you know.
Oh yeah,
He-
definitely,
he's the one.
definitely.
And
And they're probably gonna get their just desserts. They're gonna get fucked either way. They should have known this.
Do you know why they picked him? Because they knew he's
Because-
too nice. He's not the kind.
He's
of
too
guy-
nice.
Too nice. Yep. Say
He's got a
everything, all the
he's
good
got a
stuff.
belief. He's got beliefs that are completely antithetical to their own. He's a Christian conservative.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was just incredible.
We are ruled by sociopaths, everybody, and we don't even know it.
Yeah. So be careful. Be
What
wary.
a-
That's why, like, I'm keeping my eyes open. Like, this era, man. 2019, it's gonna get even more wilder. but good thing we're fighting back, and I just hope things will turn out well for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, good on Vic for not taking this line down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good on him. So yeah. So what's been happening though? It's like, okay.
Actually pretty good.
Good. Okay.
Oh, I spent the last 13 hours trying to coach my friend through building a computer.
Oh, nice.
And apparently he failed.
What
Yeah, because for the last 5 hours of the build, he was trying to figure out why he wasn't getting any monitor output.
Oh, shit.
And turns out it's because he didn't plug in both of his GPU power connections.
What a retard.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Good thing they're making a simulator game that teaches people how to build computers. So part of the game is like it'll teach you how to assemble computers. The other part of the game, which is actual playing stuff, so the little game is about building computers and repairing computers for people, but it also like teaches people how to make them themselves, like realistic. That saw an ad for it the other day,
Okay.
so
Sweet.
it's pretty cool. Educational games.
Sweet.
Fun.
So you guys
I'm
go-
totally buying him that.
go on to auto chat mode right now, because I'm gonna have fun listening to you guys chat, and I'll try to reply. And I'm just coloring.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Like I didn't at first I didn't think I could make it, because it takes about 16 hours to make these pages, and then like, shit, I only got like 1.5 days. Can I do it? Because you have to take into consideration like the rest time, the food food time. I'm speaking so like primal language, exercise, and just keeping up with my social well-being. That's why it was important that I went to the farmers market the other day, just to balance things out, rather than sitting on my ass 24 hours just drawing like this. So yeah, just and it's good to actually catch up with you guys too, because this is also like it soothes my soul. I'm just saying, it feels good to have company, because you guys, man, like it can be a very lonely thing to just sit down and draw. Why do you think we're listening to podcasts? Because I want people like ourselves, creatives who are like in isolation, want to be surrounded by people too. You know, we like to hear voices and opinions and discussions and intellectual discussions more so.
When it comes to me, I'm conflicted. So when I'm doing college work, like homework, and I'm trying to read books, I get the feeling of isolation as well. Like there isn't enough activity for me to really get energized and engage with what I'm doing. But every time I listen to a podcast or listen to music to allow some activity going on, I can't concentrate. I'm in this battle.
You're a double-edged sword situation.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. But
It really does.
well, studying is a different story, because you need to digest that information.
Yeah.
People like me and David and Tracy, J Butler, and all that, who are actually working on the comics, we just have to apply the technique. And that's it. It's the same as like exercising in the gym. You're listening to music that will motivate you to push you forward. Listening to these podcasts, sometimes, well, I was a bit worried, because yesterday I was like, okay, also you're on track, man. You're halfway through with your inks. It's like, this is good. You're going good. It's like the Olympics, man. And like, oh shit, like what's the next exciting episode from Rakita Law? And Vane, that was the episode that I looked into. It was the one where the troll came in, and I was like, I just had to stop. I was glued to the screen watching those two talking, man. I was like, I couldn't draw. And it was a 3-hour thing. I was like, holy shit, 2 hours lost. It's like, I better get back to drawing. Oh, fuck. I was like, shit. I better concentrate, Olsen. Come on, don't let these guys down. Don't let the people who are waiting for content them down, man. It's like shit. Okay, sorry, continue.
I know how you feel because I was welding. It's probably last week or whenever it happened. A big glob of molten metal landed on my leather sleeve. It was burning me. I'm like, I'm running the perfect bead, and then this like push it to the limit plays on YouTube. I'm like, I'm not letting Scarface down. I gotta finish the bead.
Oh, what a man!
I think that was the movie, right? Scarface. Yeah, that's what pushed.
Nice. Oh man, seriously, just.
Speaking of motivation, anyone see the new trailer for Devil May Cry 5?
Are you talking about the one with the singing? I don't like the singing. I really hate it when Japanese trailers have singing in it and people are talking over it.
What does singing mean?
Like, here's the sad moment that happens in the anime. We have an actress singing in the background, and people are fucking talking over it. I hate that shit so much.
Like,
Okay,
I
but
watched the
no
ads
one's-
because Bane said there were spoilers.
Okay.
Like-
okay, fair enough.
It's like, this is a song about family and love. And they're fucking screaming out of their lungs. I fucking hate it. It's like, that's not what you do, man. You let the lyrics speak for themselves. Like, that's what we get right in the West when we're like doing cartoons and movies. We let the songs say their shit.
We gotta do a meme of Tim being frustrated. Come on, do a graphic.
I know how you feel, Tim. I think the best way to do it, personally, in Stardust Memory they did it. Like the music starts playing as like the final words are being spoken, is like this is before the credits, so you get like 40 seconds of the song playing after they stop talking and the credits start. So it's just like, okay, it didn't interrupt any, so it sort of trailed away gracefully.
Oh man.
The exhilaration of me being angry.
Exactly. Oh, okay. So
Elson, so far, sorry to interrupt. So far, for how long you've been working on this comic, how are you doing so far? How are you digging the marathon, as you'd like to call it?
I think what you missed, I answered that question actually yesterday. No, it's good. It's good that you brought it up again. How am I doing? I'm.
Like, are you getting sick of it? Are you just like, God, I regret this?
No, that kind of thing. No. I don't feel regret. No, not at all. But I do feel a little bit it shouldn't be like a little bit or a lot. I'm disappointed by my performance last year because I only completed a total of 56 pages, which is essentially 1 page a week. That's not good enough. I need.
Well, I mean, you're still working a job too.
Yeah, for sustenance.
Better go into your own period.
I think like if I do this full time, like will it improve the productivity? I don't know, but I'm still slowly finding ways to kind of like improve productivity, and to explain how I excel in terms of product efficiency or productivity is okay. Let's look at it from a job stance point of view, like where I'm working right now. I perform better when I'm given a task to do. When I'm managed by a supervisor, when there's higher ups above me, you give me the task, you train me up, I'll be loyal to that. Like I'm really good. I've proven
me.
that. Yeah, but that's what I've done for so many years, and that's why they still want to keep me there. When you start branching out, and it's good to try new things. You know, it's brave, it's risky. But once you start branching out to do it like your own, like opening your own business or self-employed kind of situation, you have
on you.
You have to be fucking disciplined. And if you start, you got to set schedules. Like you have to set goals. And then that's why my goal now is to get minimum 72 pages. If I realistically did 56 last year, if I could push myself, let's just kind of build it up. 72 instead of 100, because technically if I do 2 pages a week, that's 100 pages plus, isn't it? 52 years in a week. So I'll just say 676. That's my highest goal. If I can beat 76 pages, awesome. That's great. I'll set the bar a little bit higher next time. So Yeah, the summary of that is I excel better when I'm given a task. I've always been working that way because ever since I worked from down up, delivering newspapers, delivering as a driver delivery around the Perth metropolitan area, parcel delivery. Also went to the docks at 5 a.m. in the morning to do like, what do you call this? This is at the warehouse where you're distributing stuff. It's hard work, that one, but I enjoyed it. See, I'm like one of those blue collar people, man. I don't care what kind of job I get, I do it and I do it good. But when you start branching out to do your own thing, procrastination is your biggest enemy, right then and there. Especially now because we've got social media and shit. You're glued to the screen too much. There's just too much going on. And you guys,
that's my issue. I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to begin to understand that I could be addicted to YouTube.
Yeah, no,
it constantly distracts me.
It was such a weird thing yesterday. When I was sleeping, I pondered upon this thought. What if one day, like next year, as a challenge, I removed myself from social media for 1 year. 1 year, no social media.
Like the late Discord.
Well, I mean, this is just a hypothetical. Like, I know that there'll be consequences. Like, oh, you're not building up your you're not building up your readership. You're not updating them on the stuff and all that. But this might potentially give me, allow me to achieve the goal of at least 100 pages, or essentially more content. Because at the end of the day, you need a full product to sell your idea. For example, like people who start out with webcomics and they have like a few pages. Hey, check out my awesome, cool comic. And it takes like 2 weeks later to update one page. 1 month later, nobody follows anymore. They lost interest.
Yeah.
The best business strategy, which I've always been advocating myself for, the stuff that me and Gabriel are doing is, and I told you many times, guys, sorry, for the benefit of the people listening right now, is wait till you got a solid product. Wait till you got a story where people are like, oh, I care for these characters. Oh, I understand the world a little bit more better. I'm invested. I'm emotionally invested in this. I want to support this project and these people who are working on the project. So it's weak if you're like, oh, I'm halfway through my comic. I'm about to make a book and blah, blah, blah. And here's my Kickstarter. Go support it. What?
Yeah.
You don't have anything, man. It's almost like the...
yeah, you got no product.
You got no product.
Got nothing of worth. What are you trying to sell me?
Yep, exactly. And
I was gonna say, if they say if a webcomic goes on free and did like the updates, like okay, we've got about 40 or like graphic novel length. Okay, we'll condense this and go to a publisher and like then sell a book. Is that still viable? Because I've seen some of the comics do that, and I think it's worked out for them.
You mean the... sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't hear most of what you said. Sorry, it might have been my audio cutting out. Something about the strategy of like a distribution strategy?
Yeah, like they use like say graphic novel format, like oh it's like 50 pages or so. Like okay, this is like the book one so far of the comic, and we will have like physical print sales or ebook sales or something like that.
Yep,
that might work.
Oh, absolutely. There has been strategies like that implemented for graphic novels that I've seen and Kickstarter campaigns that I've been working with. For example, a really successful one was the guy who did Remind. He's Jason Brubaker. He used to work for DreamWorks Studios. Is DreamWorks the one that made Kung Fu Panda, or was it? No,
yeah, that was DreamWorks.
Yeah. And then like he started to branch out. He says, I had enough of the daily grind. Supervisors telling me how to direct stuff, and like he's basically like he actually wasn't a director himself, but it's just the daily grind of I'm basically contributing my time to work on somebody else's vision, which can be fulfilling for some. Like some people's whole life as an artist is to support that. I want to be made useful because I've got these talents and I want to make this vision possible. But for him, he wanted to take an extra step, just like David, Liz, myself, Tracy. We want to show our creative vision without the strings attached to it. You're only getting paid this much. If you don't come in time, you got to clock in, clock off. You got this and that, blah, blah, blah. No. We set the hours. We set our goals. We make the product. We have full creative control. So to answer your question, Asats, yes. The strategy, if it's concerning us, again, sounds radical. I'm gonna make this free. Well, the book itself, it's like I'm in the financial position as well as Gabriel, and this is where I'm gonna have a personal chat with him about how he stands financially with this. We're gonna make it free. We're gonna make it as accessible as possible. Like,
wow,
there's this strategy where I
Like
thought
Dream
you just
Keepers? Like where you can read it online, then buy the physical book and support the.
We'll take it to the next level. You pay the cost price of this book. We'll pay for your shipping, especially if you're overseas. Like we want to make it as cheap as affordable. Cheap is not the right word. As affordable as possible for you guys to have a copy of the book. And then I've learned from these strategies in the past where people who show the effort, who has built a reputation, who has shown proof that they are successful in what they do, they demonstrated that they can create excellent content. You know what? We feel empathy for you guys, and you know what? And for the fact that I have a few spare dollars here and there, we'll do our best to support you because your cause is pretty cool. That's what we're aiming for. We're trying for like a mass audience and trying to provide this for free. Once the website's out, it's for free, like Dreamkeepers and Lackadaisy. You see how successful they are? They've implemented that strategy too. How do they get most of their income? Currently, the modern strategy is the Patreon situation. Combination of crowdfunding and open source funding, like, you know, the Patreon.
Yeah.
Lately, you know how there's a lot of that stuff that's happening. Patreon's cutting ties with this and that, and it's just I've been following that shit, and like they're looking for alternate methods of payment. And
Yeah, Subscribestar is
Yep, that's one of them.
Subscribestar is back up, so we have that now.
Bitcoin,
And we got also we also got Dick Masterson's thing.
Yeah. Oh, so Bit Masterson has created his own.
No, Dick
system.
Masterson.
Oh, sorry, Dick Masterson. Yeah. Look, because you know what? I need the only. Okay. Wait, no way. Are you saying that Dick Masterson was the voice actor of the Beavis and Butthead?
Huh?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Just,
No, it's Mike Judge.
Oh, Mike Judge. Okay, no, because like, who is this Dick? Like,
No, we're just doing that thing because his name is Dick.
I see.
Also, the slogan
Yep.
for his show is "Get some dick in your ear," and
Yeah.
that's like
It's
the fucking best.
It's so funny that you guys just mentioned about it because I only today finally like just let's see what this guy's about. I checked his famous thing was like he was trolling on Dr. Phil or something like that. I was like,
Yes.
what the heck? Wait, so
That was amazing.
so actually that was like a setup. Like he did it deliberately. He's not really like saying all those things. I mean, he did say all those things, but does he actually really stand by those things? I don't know. Like, is that his kind
I don't know.
misogyny and all that stuff?
I think it was just to be funny.
Oh, it's
Like,
just to be fun.
to get a rise out of people.
Yeah, just like Milo Yiannopoulos, that dude. Like, you know,
Yes.
oh yes, that kind of okay, that kind of strategy. But he was the one who did it earlier. Okay, so it's funny, and also the Nick Recader explained about the case. If you go into that talking about Vic's lawyer featured Hero Hey, he explained to the.
No, I think Nick Recader actually got his.
Yep.
I guess started to get his fame with the LOL suit between
Yeah.
Dick Masterson and his.
Yes. Yep.
ex-
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, very good. Yes, he did mention that. It was because of that low suit. Low suit is a feature.
Yeah,
of
just
his...
hold on. Let me just put it.
go link it because I'm
Like
gonna.
when
Oh yeah. Sorry, Sets. Go.
yeah, Maddox wanted to sue Dick.
Yeah, he wanted to sue him for like what, $15 million or something like that.
Yeah,
And it wasn't
over a
just.
podcast. I think.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He called him a cuck.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that. There was like other companies he was suing for. It
He
goes
wanted to sue
Yeah.
Asterios. He wanted to sue some other guy.
Okay, you know
He
what?
wanted to sue Patreon itself.
Patreon. Yep.
I don't know how.
Okay, I'm gonna see if there's a timestamp because the fans of Rakita Law on that episode, they do a timestamp. Wow, whoever did this is really good. So I'm gonna look for find Dick Masterson.
Find Dick.
Oh, I like long ones. No.
The hump for some dick.
Oh god.
No, but, do you think I'll be getting dick once I'm in the convention? Oh no.
Good old con orgies.
I could imagine, Nelson, like if Edenspell becomes big and the characters become familiar, you'll have furries come up to you and say, "Hey, can you draw like Ashworth Gowie for me? I'll pay you $1,000."
Well, you know what? I kind of welcome. Oh shit, no. I have to think about that one because I don't want to paint myself as like a porn artist.
Yeah.
The furthest I'll go because recently didn't I tell you like that artist? Whoa, this guy paints so good, but there's so many dick pics. What's his name? I'll just post the art on here. Voice chat.
Dick. Oh, cool, masterpiece. Dick.
Yeah, it's that
Dick.
artist. Okay, so this the horse guy, like MMA fighter, like wow, look at the lighting and shit like that. It's just amazing. Okay, so this dude, Chuni, I think Chuni.
Where is it?
I think that's one of those things I want to work on in terms of my art skills.
I'm gonna take this as a reference image, no
Yeah.
homo or anything.
No,
Oh, that
seriously.
looks really good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Like the UFC stuff.
Yeah. So, dude. Okay, I'm gonna post another one. This is so damn sick. Look, I like, as far as I'll go in terms of like, if I were to do commissions, I don't know, maybe in the distant future, like single portrait paintings. If I get to a high level of painting, yeah, I'll do these pictures. But as long as they're wearing boxes or wearing something.
Oh, sorry.
What? That's
Wrong.
You should do what Bone did. Bone painted like, what was it, a 7-foot tall painting
Yeah, I saw that.
for a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
made a ducky or
massive.
something like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
I thought it was just like a giant canvas painting.
No, I think it was a ducky.
Oh,
Oh shit!
that
What's
was
that?
massive.
What's that word? The terminology where when you're doing a live stream and you got funding, and then suddenly the YouTuber says, "Oh, because of this law, we will not allow you to have funds because you said something bad or like against our terms and conditions." What is it? What's that?
Demonetized.
Demonetizing. Thank you very much. Yeah. And
Demonetizing.
Wait, remember when I said about that? You guys got to watch that 50th. Oh no, the 30K special that Nick Recator did. He said like the title says like blackface or whatever, and he promised to the fans that if he gets to 30K, he'll bring his black friend who he blackfaced, and then like as a host, co-host to talk and just celebrate. And man, the subjects. You know what? I'm gonna because you guys are here. Think back a year ago when you guys were with me, like quite new, and like I was in the chat with you guys. We were just humbly talking, getting to know each other. Remember when I told you about we were in the discussion about California or like places in America, like, and I mentioned like, oh, California, and then like I remember like Vane was like, ooh, and then Tim was like, ew, and so I was like, like you guys were like, and I was saying, what's wrong with this place? I mean, remember, keep in
A
mind,
collective grimace.
yes, and I lived in
The People's Republic of California.
Yes,
Dude,
remember,
so I have a two.
See, this is bringing back wonderful memories. I was there when I had the mindset of I had a limited mindset of what the fuck was going on and how fucked up America was. I was like, oh, but I lived there for 1.5 years. I didn't see a lot of that racism. I didn't see a lot of this social justice warrior, all that shit. And then after 1.5 years of going to social media, like fast forward to now, and with the Nick Recator stuff, I had the Vic Mignogna. And the feminism, progressivism. Oh my god, I can't say that word. Progressivism. Okay.
Progressivism.
There you go. Progressivism. That's the one. Thank you very much. And like all this shit.
I don't know why I'm just really good at pronouncing words that other people tend to fuck up.
The bigotry, how men are losing power, and I don't want to sound like a bigot. And like again, this stems from other things too. You can learn from other podcasts like the Joe Rogan Show, bringing various guests who are theorists of all walks of life, and they also share the same concept of how women are slowly destroying our culture, and it's slowly destroying people's lives, careers, countries. I sound
I wouldn't
so bad
specifically
talking
say
about women.
women,
Not
but-
all women. Not all women. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of
Say,
women
we're
who
going full
no,
MGTOW for
there's a
doing
lot
that.
there's but there's a lot of women who are also like hate the feminist movement. Like they don't like
Yeah.
what are
Yeah.
you doing to yourselves? They understand where we're coming from. And I can get it from their point of view because okay, let's try learn to
Fun fact: one of those women who are actually against the social justice types is actually a feminist herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Christina Hoff Summers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is this the one that runs that YouTube channel called The Factual Feminist, where she pinpoints all the bullshit in the third wave feminist? Yeah. She's
Yeah.
like 40 years old, and she's like,
Oh,
the
thank
feminist
you.
movement's going downhill.
Thank you. See that waves.
Yeah.
Waves is the keyword. Like there's
Mm.
I learned that from Milo. So there's the second movement. The third movement is the good one, right? The bad one's
No.
number 2. Oh, oops. I don't.
The third one's the bad one.
Oh, the third.
Yeah,
one's
third
the
one's a bad one.
They're trying to destroy our like. Let's see if I can remember this about economics. No. This was discussed with Drexel, the black friend of Ricada. He was saying, oh, listen to that, man. That guy's funny as shit. But like, these guys are very intelligent folks. Where they like, okay, put it in this way, man. Like, as soon as the women start to take away our jobs, start to create this climate of like social justice, like bigotry and blah blah blah, who's gonna look after the kids? Why is the divorce marriage like 50% as of late in America, and it's growing? You know what I mean? Like, and then the moment you start having all this cultural shifts in the way we run things as a family, how will this affect to the kids of the next generation? They're kids without parents, without guidance, without role models. And then they're gonna fuck up. They're gonna get into the drugs. They're gonna get into they're relying on the social what's the social welfare system? You know what I mean? Is that what Bernie Sanders Bernie Sanders
Yeah, it's like I really there's so many socialists now because there's a lot of people who are just disenfranchised.
Yeah.
Like they feel like they've been cheated out of everything.
Mhm.
School and the family didn't provide them all the knowledge and know-how that they needed.
Yeah.
So now they feel like the system is what's gonna
and then
be the saving grace.
You see, I only saw
That's not going to be the case. I'm just going to tell you that because people in Venezuela thought that was going to be the case. Now they're all starving.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the thing about extremist ideology. They always want the people who are disenfranchised, people who've had it rough. They want them to be on their side. So when things need to be violent, it's like, okay, what do I have to lose? So they take all the people who don't have anything to lose, and that's who starts the revolution.
Thank you.
It's people who don't have anything else. And it's honestly really sad to see so many young people turning to stuff like communism, Nazism, stuff like that. It's just
mob mentality.
They feel like they've been deprived.
Because they and you know why it's becoming more progressive and more like has a much more significant impact in today's society? It's because of the technology and the ability to communicate instantly in social media platforms to millions of people around the world. And especially if you just target at micro level from a global perspective, USA, like that's one country can completely be overturned based on how people think. What was this speech thing? Oh shit! What was the guy saying something? Oh, it was so deep. But yeah, going back to like how people are destroying each other, the infighting. I was looking at it at a very surface level, starting with this is like after when I said, "Oh, what's wrong with California?" And I was like, "Now I understand. Oh, blue state and leftists and justice warriors and blah blah blah, feminism, progressivism." And then like early on, I was listening to like a comedian, which is Bill Burr, when he talked about feminists and how they can destroy men's lives. Like, hey man, like I'm working like a 100K job or even a humble 20K job. We had kids, we were looking after them well. I'm a role model to these kids, and suddenly this girl says, "Nah, I'm not interested in you. Give me half of your money, fucker." And then and you pay the child support. What? Like, where's the fairness? Where's the fairness in that? Like,
there is no fairness.
There's no fairness, right? And then when on the flip side, it's to cater to the women who got disempowered over history, because it's always been like that stereotype. Oh, men are the breadwinners. Women are the people who look after the kids. They can't have a career. They can't do jobs because your job is to look after the kids and support the man. But now it's like, wait a minute, like, fuck that. We're gonna do our own thing. See, progressivism. And like, fuck. Okay, yes, you can do your own thing, so long as you don't take away the privileges that the man can provide for the family. Like, there's some women who just wants to do both things, have a career, and look after the kids at the same time. Yeah,
That's really hard to do.
Very hard to do. Yes, correct.
If you juggle a full-time job, you also have to take care of a kid.
Yes.
And that's why you see a lot of people, they'll just give up on the whole having a kid thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to get a dog. I'm going to take pictures of it. Oh, this is my baby.
Yeah.
Pretend this dog is mine.
And again,
cat or whatever.
I sound like a fucking bigot saying this. Not all women are like that. Some I've always respected women for how they're very excellent communicators. They're good with like making decisions, showing empathy and all that stuff. But just wow, there was another podcast talking about the psychology of women and how when you link that to like comparing to men. Okay, let's look at it from a primal situation. When you get bullied or like there's a workplace argument or like somebody hates you for what you'd said or did, what do you usually do? How do you confront? Men, because of their masculinity, testosterone and all that stuff, we tend to settle it. Okay, Bane, you and I, come on, let's go out in the street, settle it right now with our fists.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Bane will kick my ass. But then women,
I probably wouldn't.
Women
Motherfucker, you work out and I'm just like.
He's a lanklet like me.
Although if it was pistols at dawn.
Oh shit! Actually, no. You'll be better. You got more experience.
Yeah.
So okay, and then women in the same situation, what do? Hey, let's talk it out. Let's just calm down. Don't raise your voice. Let's.
Don't ever tell a girl to calm down.
Yeah, but now because of this social climate, this change in the social culture, no, women are like, and we are the next leaders of this world. We do whatever the fuck we want. And, oh man, it's killing me. And
then you have to consider the fact that most men have been taught to treat women with respect, and when women and
preach it, brother, preach it. I heard this theory. Go on, preach it. I know what
So a guy's different. You can argue with a guy, you can yell at a guy, you can punch a guy, and society's okay with that. I mean, that's how we've always solved problems since the dawn of fucking time. Well, with women, though, we've always been rather submissive to women, because if we yell at them or we decide to argue with them or, commit violence, try that,
battery.
Yeah, it's assault and battery. So, like, when a woman yells at you and brings her opinion upon you, what the fuck can you really do? Your power has sort of been taken away by this whole Judeo-Christian idea of respecting women, respecting their body and their place.
Well, Tim, what you do then is you destroy her with facts and law.
Yes, you see, it's all coming back full circle. It's like, now I understand why people are so it's like a magnet effect. Like, why are people so motivated? Captivated by people like Ben Shapiro? Like, he's just using his intelligence, his facts, his preparation and research, and his eloquence in how he conducts himself, the way he speaks. He's not gonna like shout over you or like say, "No, you're wrong. Oh, you racist, you faggot, you."
Hold on.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry.
There's actually a video on how Ben Shapiro actually conducts debates, and it's actually really interesting in how you can use these.
Yeah, there is a YouTube channel that teaches you how to make argument, how to be persuasive, how to not be nervous. It's a pretty good YouTube channel, but I sort of feel like a sociopath when I watch it, because because most sociopaths, what they do is they study how to talk towards you instead of developing it themselves like a normal human.
Yeah, and you can learn this from Joe Rogan too. Like, in a different sense, like a good quality.
Oh wow!
I love his quality of listening. His inquiry, his curiosity to understand, and give the other person a chance to talk, and like he's a great interviewer. I love the way he interviews and just ask these. Like, he gets into these states where, like, once there's a really critical discussion going on, like where it really matters in today's world, and then he starts to like philosophize. Oh my god, I'm not making up words, but he's bringing up his an abundance of experience and knowledge from all the people we've talked to, and try to make sense out of the theory and create a point. And it's so beautiful when you see that. For example, like the drug war, how can you stop it? And when he was talking to the dude who was like, oh, you know, the corrupt police and all that stuff, it's like, man, think about all the kids that are affected, all the family and the repercussions and all that. I heard about, like, I listened to this guy who was talking about the drug mule in Mexico, and then, like, he was saying that this policy won't work if you just, and then, like, he brings up all these other things. It's like, wow, this dude, man, like, he knows a lot of stuff, and mad props, because he's teaching me about the world and how it works without having to travel the fucking world. The thing is, I have the luxury and the privilege to have been traveling around the world all these years in my life, and I've seen a lot of shit too. But like, for those who are unfortunate to not be able to travel at an early age and open their eyes, the pearls of wisdom you can get from that Joe Rogan podcast, my God, just listen to it. And I'm glad that you're listening to that shit, Tim, because it's really good shit. But yes, going back to what I was saying, sorry, Bane, did you want to say a point? I think I.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I'm just actually just trying to find that.
Oh, the Ben Shapiro thing. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
But I remember Bill Burr was. Bill Burr, like.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay, post that link. It's like, why are these?
It's
women,
in general.
Why are these people taking away our livelihoods, man? It's like, I provide for the family, and you just suddenly come in and take away my money. That's bullshit. Blah, 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 all that shit. Oh, so. And then that was like 1 year ago, and then now all that bullshit is starting to make sense as I'm hearing the real media, like I'm talking about like people who are standing up to this bullshit that's happening, and it's like, wow. You see, I don't have, again, I told you guys, I'm a coward. Like I'm not that good at articulating thoughts. The moment you put me in a position of pressure, like, oh, Elson, like, you draw porn, like, what do you have to say for yourself? Like, you're like, I don't know, like, and I'll be like, see, that's why I gravitate towards those people who are just, like, Nick Recader, who yesterday, like, just, he knows how to defend himself, he's very articulate, he proves his point with grace, and I just can't do that. I wish I had that skill, man. And
it takes a lot of passion, a lot of knowledge, a lot of reading. Jordan Peterson, another. What's up?
Jordan Peterson. He was actually okay. So I'm not sure if you guys got this program where it's like a debate show. Yeah, surely you got one in America. In the UK, it's popular. It's called like shit. Let me
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You know
that
what I'm
questionnaire.
talking about.
Yeah, I was watching it and then I had to stop.
Q&A in Australia, but
Q&A.
it started in UK and then it migrated here for our
I'll be right back.
Okay, go for it. But then it just showed, like, he was talking about the feminism and all that stuff. It's like there was this girl who's just not agreeing with him, and man, he
the red shirted one.
He shut him down. Man. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And oh gosh, people in the chat room. Bye CC. Have a good sleep. And apologies for the people in the chat, the YouTube, if I'm not addressing to you guys, but I'm just focusing on these wonderful friends here just to have a chat. And sorry if I come off as misogynistic.
No, you're not misogynistic.
Like, we're just trying to be good human beings. That's all we're trying to do, man. But because of this fuckery by these women that I'm hearing, it's just what do you think?
They are terrible people. The thing about them is all of their beliefs and theories found from insecurity rather than any kind of scientific method being used to verify their theories. Like, for example, the male gaze. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that theory, but it is a theory where if a man looks at your ass as a woman, it is objectively sexual assault. It is rape. And this was a theory that was created in the 1970s by some crazy feminists that was proven wrong by other feminists. Guess what? It has returned. It is relevant for some weird reason. And
what about the 70s, man? Because I know that's around the time that whole 1 in 4 bullshit statistic came around.
But the thing is, like, for example, and there's this whole law about breasts in pop culture. So previously we had women that had that shown cleavage, that had big boobies that were firm, boobies that shown good what do they call it? Heritage of genetics. I forgot that word, but boobies. We like boobies. But now endowed,
milk jugs.
Well, women that are so well endowed. There you go. The word endowed. I was looking for that, and. I don't fucking nowhere now. Big boobies are a bad thing. Showing cleavage is a bad thing. It is misogynistic to display display this stuff. How the fuck did that happen? When did that happen? It all felt from insecurity. Women just don't want to deal with the fact that their boobies are not like the people on the fucking screen or in video games or in pop culture. They can't stand the fact that they're not as attractive.
That's also where the whole inner beauty thing comes from. It's like
a
lot of them are fucking ugly as shit.
And yet men have six packs, they have firm asses. That an excuse that they have is that it's actually not sexy, six packs or shit. It's not. But because it shows power. For women, on the other hand, it shows objectification. No, it fucking doesn't.
That is a retarded reasoning, and I want to slap whoever came up with it.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed about the whole like inner beauty thing and all that is the people that say that like, oh, I'm beautiful on the inside, they tend to be just even bigger assholes than people that actually look.
Oh yeah, here's the thing.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
Your physical. Here's the thing. Your mental state can actually affect your physical appearance.
Yep.
Like if you're a fucking ugly motherfucker, you probably ugly on the inside. Like, I mean, just take a look at a bunch of pedophile pictures, and they're all exactly how you expect them to look like.
Mm-hmm.
The pedo stash, like the hunch, the damn, like
the round face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can empathize.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were endowed with good genetics, I would be pretty grumpy and narcissistic as well. But it would.
No, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
there's a superior Aryan race joke in there somewhere.
Well, the thing is, all of these things found from insecurity rather than actual fact. There's been no scientific method or experiment to prove the fact that all of these feminist theories are correct and that men have become misogynistically objectifying and aggressively dominating as a result of a culture that is founded by some dark patriarchal rule as a result of Christianity, Judaism, or the evil Western culture that was founded through colonization. It's complete horseshit. There's absolutely no scientific evidence to prove this as a fucking theory, but it's a theory. And for some reason, we all the mass media agrees with it. They find it to be have any form of scientific merit. And I think
I don't actually think they agree with it. I think they're just.
I know, but I think they're saying it because they're fucking scared of women.
Yeah.
No, because I think they just want. Essentially, there's like, hey, we get views from these crazy people.
But they're so few and far between. I mean, like look at the stuff going on with Captain Marvel. Christ, it's preview user rating at 27% because Brie Larson, the main actor that plays Captain Marvel, is being an SJW cunt, saying racist shit to white people and misandristic shit to men, and the community, the people that watch these fucking movies, they know about it and they're pitting the fucking user reviews hard. And look at the Anita Battle Angel. That is that's a competitor to Captain Marvel at this point, because I hadn't watched the movie, but I guess it does the whole strong female thing very well, and it has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes from the users.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but if you read I'm gonna call it a comic because I'm not gonna sit here and say manga every time. But
it's basically a Japanese comic.
Yeah, she's just a normal person in the comic. I mean, like it's like, oh, she's a super cyborg commando thing, yeah. But there's a lot of interesting stuff around it too.
It seems like Alita is a hardcore badass Pinocchio. That seems to be the inspiration. She seems to go through these massive amounts of arcs. Like she's first reborn. She comes back to life, and she's just a little girl trying to understand this world around her. She's innocent, she's naive, and eventually she realizes something that makes her bitter, cold. She realizes that she was once a warrior, and she transforms multiple times across this massive manga. And they tried to capture that in this movie. And that's something that is correct. You make a woman that isn't just strong, but is just human and believable and dynamic. That's what people like about her. That's what people find so relatable with Alita, the character. But Captain Marvel, I mean, the movie's not out yet, but seems to be the case that there's going to be some narcissistic bullshit going on with that film. Like all the men are going to be weak, puny, and naive and agreeable, and she's going to be the only disagreeable one.
Oh, come on.
At least I think that'll be the case. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe it'll
The whole thing is that Marvel's going to have to learn eventually that you can't spit in your consumer base's face for so long without them just like, I'm just not going to buy your stuff. Because like comic books are like, oh, hey, there's a white guy and he's a racist or he has to feel bad for me. Okay, what about another one? Oh, it's just, oh, I hate this political shit. Okay, straw man comic. All right, what about another thing? Bad writing. Okay, you just keep moving on. And Marvel can afford the losses because they make millions of dollars a movie. Now that their movies are flopping, they're going to have to really rub two brain cells together and be like, maybe we should quit.
No, they'll never
our
learn.
consumer base.
Well,
they didn't learn after Lucasfilm didn't learn after Solo flopped.
And here's another thing. So both Captain Marvel and Alita have these what do they call them? Not donation. A charity. They have charity events going on. So Captain Marvel. No, not GoFundMe. They had a charity. They have charity. So, for example, for Alita Battle Angel, which was amazing, they had a charity for helping little girls who were born without arms, and they funded their art design team to make their own version of the synthetic arms that Alita wears in the movie, and give it to this little girl. And she was on the red carpet with the actors and everything. They give this poor little girl the time of her fucking life, and it was touching. It was like this was a thing that helped empowered little girls, women out there in the world in a truly humble, selfless way, a way that's actually touching. And guess what the charity for Captain Marvel is? It's a fucking charity to show how awesome what the fuck is her name? The actress Brie Larson's, how awesome Brie Larson is. I'm such a kind and caring person. Donate based on me. It's so fucked.
Okay, did even Van Sciver call this out? I think he did on Twitter, and like everyone's like,
really.
I think he did. Yeah.
He did, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's why it's like. What?
Yeah.
You
can see the major.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you can see the major difference on how these two separate big budget films see woman. Disney sees woman as money trees. Alita sees woman as people. And there you go. I mean, when you.
All right, fellas. I've been a train wreck, causing this hatred of women. Can we let's?
I don't hate women.
No,
I'm not a misogynist.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's like it sounds, if we see it from the perspective, we're just like, oh, bashing women for this and that. I mean, with justification. But let's try to counterbalance this and say, what?
You still there?
Oh,
yeah,
we're still here.
Yeah, we're also here.
So I think someone new joined.
Yeah, Damage. Hey, Damage. How you doing?
Damage. Whoa.
I mean, I guess I'm throwing women around like a ping pong ball.
No,
I guess I'm doing that.
I was the one who started it, remember? I was the one.
You're abusing women on the internet, you bigot.
But again,
check your privilege, cis scum.
But again, to kind of like counterbalance, like let's put ourselves in their shoes. Like, why do you think they came to be historically? You actually touched on a good point early on, Tim. Vulnerability, and like it's like again, it's just a power.
Well, I think
I want to put myself in their shoes. It's like I can see why they're arguing their case. Fuck this. It's like all these men why are they like all these if we're talking from the business perspective, like why are there so many more male billionaires in there, or like
well, here's the thing.
Multinational
Well, you
companies,
talked about like psychology.
Yep.
A lot of that is due to the male psychology being hyper competitive.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot
That's
more
why
type
there's-
A in male brains.
Yeah.
There's that, but it's just that let's just kind of give them the benefit of the doubt of what they experience. Remember, like I do believe these are facts. Like, you know how actually are these facts? I think I remember I heard Ben Shapiro saying like, no, that's not a fact about how women getting less jobs than men. You know that that thing.
The wage gap.
The wage gap.
Oh
yeah,
women.
Oh god, that's a classic.
Want to know why that? Want to know why that's a thing?
Okay, why?
Yeah, here's the thing. Women actually do earn less than men, but that's because they choose different jobs.
It's an earnings gap, not a wage gap.
It's an
Like,
earnings.
if a man and a woman have the same position, they're not going to make different amounts of money.
And
the
other point made was
a woman will drop out of the workforce after having a child and coming back. It's harder to be at the higher wage.
You just stole my point. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys. I'm just gonna head out for a few minutes because I'm just gonna have dinner.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, see ya.
Cool.
I hope it didn't make you feel uncomfortable or anything. Okay.
Damn it! Just
I'll be right back in. I'll be right back in a few minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, see ya.
Okay, I'm still gonna be there.
Yes. Damage took my point. I was gonna say about like women who have those old-fashioned values, which is good too. They would rather dedicate their time looking after the children. You know what I mean? Going back to what we said about 2 hours ago about their role in society and how it was a good society because you're raising good kids to be through education, paternal love, teach kids how to respect people, how to love one another, and to be good people, and just that is. I'm trying to find
overall.
Let's find some good points about why women feel this way. You know what?
So
feminism and why do they feel this?
Yeah.
They didn't have power.
I can actually.
I think it's the power thing. Like, why are men dominating the landscape all the time? It's about time we did something like blah blah blah. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, you have something to say, Bane? Because I got something to say.
Nothing. I was just gonna be like, fucking. I'm just saying a bunch of like. Hey, like, hold on, like. What was it called? It was it was called like cultural Marxism or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay, explain. I don't know what this is. I heard of it.
I think Bates can explain it.
Okay.
I'm not that well versed in it, but
yeah,
I've
me
heard
neither. But
a
it's
little about it.
Basically like.
TikTok.
I'm trying to actually. I'm not that well versed in it as well, but it's essentially. It's.
You do better than me.
God damn it! This always happens.
Okay.
Your brain farts.
I have a point,
You just had it.
but I just can't make that point.
You can't
Yeah.
make that.
I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, go look it up and try to find other things that why do women feel this way? Like create.
My take.
Yeah,
there was a psychological study made in the University of Chicago.
Okay.
Where they. This is gonna be a tough one because it's kind of dark.
Okay.
So, the too lazy to read version. Women are far more open to other ideas and are far more susceptible to agreeing to them. And when you set them on a pathway, to a certain philosophy or dogma, they tend to stick with it with utmost wisdom and passion. And this founts from 1,000 years worth of evolution.
Yep.
And the thing about human beings is that before we reach a post-scarcity society, before we discover that we can grow food out of the fucking ground and herd our own animals and fences, we had to live as hunters and gatherers. And boy, the stuff that we were and stuff that we did to women and children and stuff. So I'm gonna get into some very dark subject matter about human nature, if you don't mind.
Stuff back in the Ooga Booga days.
We were pretty fucked up. So. Here's the shindig, but first I need your help because I don't have the term in my head. You know the whole thing where you love your abuser? What's that called?
Stockholm.
Yeah,
Stockholm syndrome. So women are very prone to Stockholm syndrome. Let me explain why. So let's just say you're a part of your tribe or your community, right? And you go out and you fucking pillage. We tend to, so let's just say you decide to attack some village out there, and you do your lovely human thing. You kill, you pillage, you rape, you capture, you kidnap, and most of the time you kill the men. Maybe you kill the children, but most of the time they always kidnapped the woman. They always took the woman and brought them. Yeah. And this would lead to various genetic differentiations between certain groups of humans that were of different tribes in those ancient times. They would take the woman, and they would be terrified and scared at first, but through further abuse, further raping, and the creation of children and the ownership of those women, they tend to come to agree with their tribe's cultures very easily, and the fear resides. And this, I know it's fucked up, but women tend to be open to Stockholm syndrome, and they tend to be accepting to external ideas far easier. It's why they're far more empathetic, and why they tend to like men that are very passionate. I've come that's
There's another reason too, and I'm not going to say this is the same across the board, because the way we adapt as cultures shifts very quickly. But a common trend through most cultures in most of history up until fairly recently has been that because we were in a culture where we had to work so hard to get by, men with a greater physical strength often had to go out and do the physical work.
Yeah.
And would provide for their wife and their children, who stayed home in a more of a unit together. So it became the expected role of the wife and mother to basically run the family business side of things, and run the interactions and things where emotion and stability were more important than risk and reward. So that's another big thing. Now, that's not genetic, that's really cultural, and that culture can shift very, very quickly. But that is a big reason why you see a lot of the, kind of like the damsel in distress in myth and things like that. It's because that's how society worked, not because, men hated women, or because women weren't, as good as men, but because, quite frankly, the men would go out and bust their ass at doing hard work and not getting much smarter. And really, the women were often the smarter ones at home. And in a lot of, especially European medieval craft work and into the Renaissance, and even after that, the guys you'd have as, oh, this is the, the blacksmith, and he makes these incredible swords. Well, typically, he would rough out the sword and pass it off to his wife, who did the sharpening and the final shaping and the detail work and the handles, everything else. So she was really the master craftsman. Same with a lot of woodwork and ceramics and things like that, where the men would do the hard physical labor and pass off the work to their spouse to do the finishing work. It was a division of labor based upon physical ability most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of it. That and the whole damsel in distress thing is a great for a fairy tale, but how many fairy tales have any basis in reality?
They don't, but they do care. But just like Jordan Peterson and how he talks about the purpose of stories, especially in religion, they do carry values and morals that have sort of been strewn on throughout human history through the individual hardships, lessons learned, and there is a semblance of truth to fantasy and fairy tales in some way or another. And another thing to add to that,
stories are survival. It's the next generation lessons to be learned. It's like, for example, don't hunt in the wild alone, or the tiger will get you. Hunt in a group will increase your chances of killing that tiger, and then you can provide food for the family. Yay! Or be careful, don't step in the water because
the knight going in to kill the dragon and to get the gold and get the princess and contribute all that gold to his community and become a noble king. Sure, like you're not going to be a knight and kill a dragon, but you don't want to look at stories like that literally. You want to look at them figuratively. I mean, as much as I'd like to think that interpretation can be harmful, but it could also be useful.
I now have a question. What was Little Red Riding Hood about? From what I remember,
it's Don't Trust
girls
Strangers.
Because I mean, like,
Don't trust strangers.
she told it no, and then it cross dresses as her grandma and tries to eat her. That's just your European folk tales are fucking weird.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
She dressed up and then ate the wolf, or is it? No, the wolf dressed up as the grandma.
No, because the wolf dresses up like the grandma. So at the end of this, like from what I remember, it's a cross-dressing wolf into vor. I don't know what this is supposed to convey.
Oh no, it's a drug.
So apparently, all the Europs are a bunch of cross-dressing furries that like voring the elderly.
It's multiple morality plays at once.
Yep.
First, it's don't trust strangers. Yep. Then also, it's stick to the actual path in the woods. Be careful of your surroundings. And third, have some freaking logic. You know, don't just blindly listen to everything. Yes, I'm going to tell you, don't talk to strangers. Yes, I'm going to tell you, don't wander off in the woods. But it's up to you to also notice when something's wrong. So it's 3 morality plays in one.
And I thought she did follow the path.
She did follow
the path.
Yes.
She was
but the thing is, but
blindly listening to what she's been told. But then in the third one, she's being told by the wolf, "Oh, I'm your grandmother." Well, no, there's certain times where you can't just do what you're told. You have to know why you're doing it. And you have to have a deeper understanding. Don't just blindly follow, but, you know, use common sense.
Doesn't Little Red Riding Hood also tell the wolf everything about her quest and where her grandma's located, what she shouldn't do?
In the expanded versions of them, yes. In
that makes sense.
Fairy tales, no.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Isn't the Grimm one the one that's the most well known in the gestalt of sort of the American?
The Grimm's the fairy tales we typically know as Americans, and basically anyone from mostly European based countries, are often more of the Disneyfied, really watered down, safe for children versions. The original Grimm's fairy tales were brutal, unapologetic, short, and harsh, and sometimes made no sense because they really were just collections of folk tales. That's it. And a lot of old folk tales either don't make sense or are really, really short. So some of them got expanded on or elaborated or just made more flowery to appeal to a market that was going to buy them instead of this is the story that was told. So
they pretty much Zack Snyderified fairy tales.
Yeah.
But to get back onto the whole idea about story relations and the purpose of women in fairy tales like that, and also go back to the whole idea about women opening themselves to ideas either through what was that a psychological thing called again?
Stockholm syndrome.
Through either Stockholm syndrome or through just through the passion of that idea being exposed to them. In most stories, especially today, usually in stories that involve heroes' journeys, like you have a guy, like one great example is How to Train Your Dragon. You have a guy, he's nobody, he sucks compared to everybody else, and then he discovers this new idea, and the love interest always comes into it, finds it fascinating, and joins in on our hero's journey as a result. Like she is accepted to this guy's dogma, this guy's philosophy or ideal, or usually in revolutionary plots, the main revolutionary, the leader of a revolution, again, in a nation, usually has a love interest that succumbs to the idea as well. It happens a lot in fiction. Like the woman, the love interest is impressed by this radical new idea that she wants to apply to society.
Because here we have a main character that's obviously set up to be the protagonist and the one we're meant to relate to, and we want everything to go well for them. So we want to give them everything we could possibly want, or everything we think that the main character possibly wants. So, yeah, of course it's going to happen in fiction. It's a fantasy. Yeah. But it's... I don't know. I see a lot of different storytelling types, and a lot of what we know comes out of European-based or Western-based fiction, which is very, very different from even, Chinese or Japanese fiction, especially in terms of gender roles. It's an interesting concept where how we want to look at it as, oh, this is the way it is because this is the way our fiction tells it from our history, but it's one group's history.
Yeah.
And in Native American fiction, entirely different picture. In South American, lore, very different as well. So even all throughout Africa, wildly different lore and fiction bases. So it's, well, we can talk about, yes, it has a basis in our stories and legends and in some religions as well. It isn't everything. So it's kind of, this is what we're looking at in what we're specifically looking at.
Well, I usually believe in the quote that Stanley Kubrick brought up, and it's that cliches exist because they happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And this all it all found from the fact that people who tell stories and write from their own experiences. Who knows? Maybe that guy went through a hero's journey himself and wrote the first hero's epic. Maybe it's the Odyssey or something before. And how it all and eventually the people...
Homer was blind. I don't think he went sailing much.
All right. So, but yeah,
he just knew what sold.
Yeah, maybe he heard narratives from soldiers in Athens, what they went through, and he was like, "All right, I'll make that into a journey. Maybe you met a god, maybe you met Zeus or something."
Yeah,
made a big ass story.
Well, it's been awesome, but I gotta head out because it's like 2 a.m. and I'm dead from the day.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Typical.
Thanks for joining, my mates. Take care.
No problem. It's a really cool stream.
Oh, see ya, boats.
See you later.
See ya. Oh dear, where do we go from here, man? Jesus.
What a taxing topic.
All started with Vic Mignogna. Oh my god, and all the craziness that happened revolving around it. See, it all has connections to it, man. But then we were heavily talking about women and how they're destroying the lives. Like, it's just messy.
Julia, you're not supposed to be this badass. Be submissive.
Really quick here, guys. Am I coming through loud enough? Am I
too
loud?
You're incredible. You're
doing good.
You're incredible.
I'm
I
fine.
swapped out my Shure mic for my old Audio Technica just to see if it would do better.
What brought you here today, Damage?
Loud and clear. Damage.
Quite frankly, I needed to test my mic.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Nice. Because how? 'Cause I don't think this would have happened. Was there a VC recently on Beyond the Western Deep? Has anyone organized or initiated a VC at all? Because I don't see any at all.
There's been a couple, but they've usually been short or just discuss a particular topic quickly.
Gotcha.
I think Bad Gear was doing a gaming session.
Oh, okay.
Or Amarillo. Not Amarillo, but Amello or...
Armello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Armello. Gotcha.
Being frustrated.
Amarillo is a terrible place in Texas. Don't go there.
Amarillo is a David Blackson comic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yep. He visits.
It's about the town in Texas.
But
it sucks.
Why?
Don't go there.
No. I love small towns, but why does it suck?
Okay, Amarillo, first off, it isn't small. It's a pretty big town, but it's also totally broke. There is nothing to see there at all. It has basically no culture of its own. It simply exists, and no one can justify why it exists. And even the gang fights aren't good, because as I was driving through, I was stopped at a stop sign, and at the stop sign across from me was a Lincoln Town car, and behind it pulled up a Ford Explorer, and a guy jumped out of the Explorer with a machete and started just beating on the door of the Lincoln Town car. And that was apparently a gang fight in Amarillo, Texas.
Yikes.
So I got out of there, and thankfully both of them were pulled over later on. But I tried to find things to do in Amarillo. There aren't any. The only interesting thing about Amarillo is outside of town, and it's well outside of town. If you've ever seen the pictures of the old 50s and 60s Cadillacs stuck in the ground at an angle, That's where they are.
Oh, cool.
You went to that.
But they're all
spot.
beat to crap. They're all missing their doors and body panels. It
No.
doesn't look good anymore.
No,
And they're all completely spray painted. So
that's a shame.
I wish I was back in Texas.
there are many better things to see in Texas than Amarillo.
That's just a shame. It's those Cadillacs.
Oh, those Cadillacs were junk when they were put in the ground.
Still.
They were never in good shape. So,
Right.
yeah.
Still though.
So, who here has traveled outside the States? With the
I
exception
have.
of... Wait, was that you, Damage? Where did you go?
Traveled where?
Outside
I've gone to England, Canada, Mexico for just a tiny bit, and Costa Rica with a brief stopover in Nicaragua.
How long were you in Mexico for? And when was this?
Like a day. That was enough.
I was gonna say, do you got any tips for me while I'm going there?
Don't go.
Don't go. No, I'm going there for a week. I've been there once, a long time ago, when I was just before I started my studies in San Francisco at the Academy.
Where in Mexico are you going?
Oh, I joined a... Don't worry, I've done a bit of research. And I'm traveling with a local this time. Not Sinaloa, that's for sure. But, yeah, I just... cartel. I think they're going to find us, chop us up into pieces, and, yeah.
Well, considering the amount of murders that have been happening at resorts lately, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, that's why.
I wouldn't go if you paid me.
Yeah, not gonna have any regrets if something happened. I just treat it as how it is. You know, it could happen to anyone with situations where I could get killed by a car crash or could get shot. Actually, speaking of, no. Have you guys been to Baltimore? Because I wanna get a good idea of what Baltimore's like from a.
I've visited Cleveland, which is sort of like Baltimore.
What is it like?
So I was like 6 or 10 years old at the time. I know it's a massive age gap, but I completely forget how old I was in these points in my life. I haven't exited California since I was like 13.
Oh wow!
I've been here for a long time. But throughout my life, I've constantly gone from the West Coast to New York, the New York, Ohio, East area, Northeast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and because my mother's family's here in California, my father's family's in the East, so I had to constantly move between these areas. And what I remember Cleveland being is that it is straight up Hicksville. It is such a cloudy, sad, dilapidated place. It's empty. It's quiet. It's like Silent Hill without the fog.
No.
Now Baltimore is like the ghetto version of that.
Really?
Yeah. Do not go to the East Bay.
Ooh.
I am serious. Do not go there.
Fuck.
It is one of the most violent places in the U.S.
I just want a place that's nice and has affordable rent. Why can't I have that?
Yeah, I was just about to say some places, but then you said with affordable rent.
But no,
you
the
could live in
East Bay in Baltimore, don't go. Baltimore is, you got to know what part of town you're going to be in and what to look out for. It is not a good place right now.
Otherwise, you're going to get shot. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Oh, well. But is that, you were going to interject with something? Like a place?
I was going to say, Tim, you can move down here.
Yeah.
Texas?
Very peaceful.
Alabama.
No, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, the cost of living's not too high, but there's a lot of meth.
Oh, great. I heard that's when you live in the Bay Area, a very wealthy place, you don't see that, but apparently there's a massive opioid crisis going on in the United States, and I'm completely blind to it. And I'm just hearing every state has a fucking drug problem.
Well, there's a problem here with it because people will get on these hard drugs, and then they get them off of it. They get sent to a methadone clinic, and they'll be, say, prescribed. This is what it used to be. They used to get 2 pills that would sort of wean them off of it. But they would take the first pill there, hide it under their tongue, because you're supposed to take it in front of the doctor. You take the second pill later on. They would hide it under their tongue, and then they take both pills at once to get high. So the problem never got fucking solved. Because you cannot leave crackheads unattended for a single fucking second. They'll just do this shit, and it's just a path to self-destruction.
This country's going down the shitter.
No, Alabama's nice. I really like the Birmingham and Tuscaloosa areas.
Yeah, Birmingham's great. There's recently been some protests down there, though. So if you go through,
whoops,
because some fella got shot there, and that's full mobilization status right there for protests.
Yeah.
So I've chilled out, but it is down there in Hoover.
Are you near there?
I live half hour, 45 minutes away. It's usually where I do like.
Okay, I'm insanely jealous that you are that close to Good People Brewing. Because, damn, every chance I get to go through, I stock up so hard on their beer, and then it's
is that place down there in downtown Birmingham?
Yeah, it's right across from the ballpark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I've hit Dia del Gordo twice, and so I've got all my El Gordo Stout, which is phenomenal.
Oh, beautiful.
But I trade stuff from Jester King here in Austin. Me and my buddy Charlie's a beer expert, and he lives in kind of just outside Tuscaloosa. So we trade beers when we can.
Have you ever crafted beer yourself? Give it a shot.
Me?
Yeah.
Many.
Oh, I see. Oh, so you were stocking. Sorry, I thought you meant you bought supplies, like lots of canned beer and bottled beer, but you were buying the ingredients to make the beer.
Oh no, I've brewed my own. It was not terribly successful. Charlie's were much better than mine, but a lot of it depends on your climate and humidity as well, depending on what you can brew. Gotcha. And I just couldn't brew anything I particularly liked here with my climate.
The humidity's pretty insane down here.
Yeah.
We have a specific recipe, call it a cake, where it's like a chocolate cake that you cut in half with usually like wire or string or like floss that's like clean. You cut it in half and you have like a marshmallow filling and you cover it this scratch made sort of chocolate frosting, but it's like viscous. But if it's too humid, it fucks up the icing and it ruins the whole thing. So you basically have to wait till it stops raining for like 3 or 4.
Interesting.
Fucking cold.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But at least when it's warm and humid, you can make one hell of an IPA. It's about all you can make.
I tried. You're talking about the alcohol, right? IPA.
Yeah.
I tried IPA. I can't stand it. It tastes so fucking bitter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the point. Then don't try a double IPA.
Oh God. I tried out I went to my nearest billiards place just last night to hang out with friends, and they had like the Space Dust IPA. It tasted fucking garbage. Like I just couldn't wait to get rid of it and get some different
pine cone.
Like I just wanted some Blue Moon or something light. Call me a pussy. I just can't stand IPA.
It's got to be hot for me to enjoy an IPA.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of my preference is based on temperature and what I'm going to eat with it. So, if it's a hot day, a nice, light, crisp American lager or an IPA is great. If it's cooler, then like an amber ale or some kind of darker ale is great. If it's cold, give me a stout.
Gotcha. I'm thinking about trying out one username Mask. He pretty much brought it up. Orange cream vodka. Orange cream flavored vodka. I never knew this was a fucking thing.
There's all kinds of flavors.
Yeah.
I wish I knew what it was called, but there's this Crown Royal that has a lot of apple. It has a great aftertaste. I tried it like 2 years ago, and it was all right.
That was all right.
But it's like my breath was just nothing but apple taste.
Apple.
I don't know what to describe it as. It's just fucking apple. It's like they milked a fucking apple and put it in with the Crown Royal.
Yeah, I think that's the Crown Royal Granny Smith.
I like Granny.
It's
I like Granny Smiths.
Tart apple flavor.
Yep.
No wonder.
Are you big into alcohol, Elson?
No. Alright. Do you remember?
Really?
No. The moment I drink alcohol, it puts me to sleep. So there's no real benefit.
Oh.
Yeah. So I
Got
mean,
it.
I've had it before, but just give me maybe like a mixed drink that's sweet as well. So White Russian. So that's like a Kahlua with milk and then ice on the rocks. There's also like Midori. There's it's all the pussy drinks. You pussy. It's like you can't drink. Yeah, no. Pina colada. What's another one?
I'd have to make you a Razorback if you ever got out here.
Sure, man. Absolutely.
It's actually one I made up, and I'm trying to get it into the bar book, but it's difficult because a lot of bars don't stock the specific ingredients. 1 ounce of Schwarzkopf German liqueur, which is kind of like if Jägermeister wasn't nasty, that would be it.
Oh yeah, God, I tried Jägermeister.
Yes, ounce of that. 3/4 of an ounce of a sweet dark rum. I prefer 7 Tiki, but Kraken does work in a pinch. And then a 1/4 ounce of Cointreau and about 3 ounces of cranberry juice, shaken over ice, and that's it.
Fancy.
It's a whole mishmash of flavors, and it all just kind of works. People have likened it to a slightly spicy Dr. Pepper, but it still has that underlying sweetness from the Cointreau and the rum.
You know, next time when my mother's not home and I got that apartment for myself and it's a nice, calm weekend, I'm gonna come to you for an alcohol recommendation. You seem to know your shit.
Lately, I've been making some Tom Collins's with a new gin that I got. A Tom Collins is gin and club soda or tonic if you want. I usually do club soda and about a teaspoon of powdered confectioner's sugar.
When I become a fucking billionaire and I have my own bar, I'm gonna make you its tender. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna hire you. You seem to know your shit, man.
Tom Collins is an old drink. I mean, that's like going back to like the 1910s. But it's typically a very ginny, almost bitter drink. If you don't like gin, you won't like it. But if you swap out the club soda for tonic, a proper tonic with sugar in it, and you load up the sugar a little bit more and use limes, you basically make it a lime Collins, and then use, if you can manage to get your hands on some Yaupon Old Tom gin, which is Old Tom, or Tom gin is a specific type of gin. Old Tom is a more refined version of it, and Yaupon is a plant that grows in Texas and some of the other southwestern states. It's technically a holly, but you can make tea out of it. It's also technically a tea. Jesus. So it's got that flavor in it too. It's a really unique flavor profile. And when that hits the tonic and the powdered sugar and the lime juice, it works really, really nicely. It's sort of sweet. It still has that kind of juniper aftertaste of gin, but it has a smoother taste overall thanks to the Yaupon tea in it.
Jesus, why don't you make a business out of this?
Yeah, man. I'm a bartender.
Do you have any idea how many millennials think they can be bartenders? I mean, one made it to the Senate.
That's big.
Nobody freaking knows how, but whatever.
Yeah,
she has a bachelor in economics, so she obviously
and she
knows
doesn't
what she's
understand
doing.
how money fucking works.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Cortez?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you guys give me a rundown about Cortez? Like,
I think these guys can explain it better than I can.
Good, because I want to like, is there a lot of hate for this girl, or like, I don't know. Just bring it on. I want to hear.
Cortez is another Marxist that doesn't understand how money works. It's just like
money
more of this good old Bernie stuff of we're gonna get free shit, but who's gonna pay for it? The taxpayers.
And her answer is
the rich.
Just pay for it. Just pay for it. We'll find a way. That's not an answer. It's never an answer. And then she got mad because she got the Amazon contract in New York canceled. And she's like, great, now we can use this $3 billion in tax breaks to pay for teachers and roads. And the governor of New York had to come to her and say, that's not how it fucking works. We are not going to get that $3 to $4 billion because that was going to come out of taxes on the business that was going to come here. We don't have that money. We were going to get that money because of this business, but now we're not getting it because of your dumbass.
And then she goes up to MSNBC crying. It's like, the mean logic guys yelled at me. Can you guys say that I was right? Yeah, sure.
That's the thing of the whole tax the rich. If you fuck with businesses too much, they will legit just pack their shit up and then fucking leave.
There's no way she's getting reelected. If she does another thing that fucks over New York, not a chance will she get reelect. She doesn't realize this.
She recently made a list of people that they want to primary, and her own party's threatening to do that to her. To like get her out. They're trying to find a way to get her out.
Yeah, and she's made a list of anybody that voted for anything, regardless if it was good or bad, whatever. Any Democrats that sided on a Republican proposal, like, I don't know, stopping illegal aliens from buying guns. Well, anyone who signed that, she's like, they're on my list now. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they get elected. So wait a minute, an enemies list? The same thing that Nixon had?
Yep. She pretty much has something against moderation. She hates moderates of her party.
She hates anyone that's critical of her.
Yeah.
Even though they might be completely right.
It just tells you that anyone can be a fucking politician.
When I side with Elizabeth Warren on an issue, you know you have fucked up.
Yeah. She's a dumb fucker. Like, what blows my mind is that she has a bachelor's in economics. Like, when I took a class in economics to micro and macro, it changed my whole fucking perspective on how the world works and how economics works. I used to be a communist fuck until that class, and now I'm all for the free market.
Some degrees, you just have to show up and give them money. Yeah. I mean, seriously, how many people do you know with degrees who are dumb as hell?
Quite a few.
Yeah,
I've heard some like actual doctors pretty retarded shit. So it makes me a little nervous, especially when you see one retweeting shit about, oh, don't give your 100% work. Your boss will expect more from you. Listen, if you're like a fucking surgeon, you better be giving your 100%. Jesus Christ, doctors who like fucking like, oh, you don't need to give all your effort. Come on, guys. Like, no, don't patronize fucking lazy people. You're supposed to save lives.
You guys want to know why you always give your 100%? Because sometimes you get to the position that I'm in, where I'm building the system that will eliminate half of our staff.
Yeah.
Guess who won't be here? The staff who aren't giving 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the facts of freaking life, especially as we go into more and more automation and more AI. Yeah, you got to bust your ass. You got to stand out. You have to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
You might not get paid for it now, but you will later.
I'm going into welding right now, and you can't fuck up welds, especially if you're doing critical welds like on a bridge or anything that like even like handrails. If you half-ass that, and like it's almost impossible to half-ass them because you have a CWI who will legit bust your balls if you have like the slightest thing. They'll go up with like an ultrasound or an X-ray machine, check every bit, even under the surface. And if you manage to even get past that, it's like if your weld fucks up and a bridge falls down, that's hundreds of people you could fucking kill because you half-assed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And imagine if it was like a missile or some shit like, oh, working for the government. Oh, the missile blows up in the fucking ship or something. Oh yeah, that's gonna make us look good.
Yeah, I wish I'd gone into welding. I'd be making $100 a year right now.
What are you doing right now, Damage? What's your job?
I work in finance.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
You should be doing all right. Or is it
well, it depends on what you do. I'm doing fine. My raise isn't quite what I wanted, but it's okay.
I'm majoring in accounting, so you and I kind of have a little bit of a relation there.
I don't even have a degree.
Oh, whoa, damn.
Yeah, no. That just proves and I turned down a manager position because they weren't going to pay me enough.
Oh,
so
that's a good move.
Tell you what, if you still want to get into welding, some technical schools will accept a lot of people, but you can also write to your local union, and sometimes they'll offer paid internships.
Nice. That's handy.
Yeah, I'm currently I've been assigned to a special project where I've been shifted off my normal production role where I was pretty much the top end of the food chain, anyways. So I'm now the line of business subject matter expert, and I'm helping the software developers develop a new system that will integrate through multiple lines of business, both onshore and offshore. It'll handle all kinds of data and sync it up so that basically we can do twice the work with half the people with about an 80% increase in accuracy. So, yeah. That's going to be fun when those layoffs roll out, because I know exactly who's getting cut.
What exactly is your passion then in life? If you could quit your job in time and you can do this thing that will provide you consistent income,
I'd be a writer.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But I can write in my spare time.
Yeah.
My job provides, what I need, and my writing can be a hobby, and I can remain passionate about it because it's not what I do every day.
Yep, gotcha. I know where you are now. I see where you are. Good, cool. All right.
So,
where are we? 3 p.m. over here. For most of y'all, it's like 12 a.m., 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's about
11 p.m.
Gotcha. Oh,
2 a.m.
What the fuck? I didn't even see Dan was... Right, because I was so focused on listening to the conversation. Oh,
hello, Potato Fox.
Yeah, Potato Fox.
Wait, is Potato here?
Yeah.
Potato.
Yeah.
Port Fox.
He doesn't say stuff. Oh, just let him speak when he wants to. So I've learned that already over the years, so that's just how it is. So yeah. I was surprised that you popped in and now you're talking about the politics and...
Yeah, we were talking about...
No, because, damage, I usually think, like, why you leave the chat, like, in past occasions, because, oh shit, things are getting a bit, like, non-PC, non-PG, I'm leaving. And it's like, oh...
No, usually when I head out, I'm, like, going to do something else.
That's what I was thinking, like, what? Is this guy, like, so sensitive? This was in the Beyond the Western Deep long time ago, when you left, too. I was like, whoa, this guy is pretty sensitive. That's why I was like, now I got... Now that you clarified, it's like, that's why I was surprised. Like, shit, now you're talking about all this politics stuff and, using your frustrations and emotions. Like, yeah, cool. That's good. So, anyways, what do we do next? I mean, I'm more than happy to just continue. I've just finished the flats right now. You guys
good job.
Don't need to look at the screen because I'm going to go to the post on the voice chat.
So good.
Oh, thank you, man. It's really, I'm just happy. That
so cute.
What's that rock that they gave her? Is that like how they communicate through radio?
Yeah. So that's called a relay cell. There's many variations depending on where you are in the region. So this was from So Team Guy set, the guy set which is with Galma. Galma's like Ashwood's dad, the big hulking axe wielding dude, right? So they're from the Commonwealth, so they're like from the woodlands. So this thing, think of it as a gourd, a fruit, and then when you carve it out, actually, if I could show you guys this picture, and then you guys can have an understanding of like the design. It's very simple, but like, we don't want to like put too much detail onto like how it works for now. But you need a Brysol crystal. Crystals are the energy provider. It's the crystal. So one of the main uses of crystals in our series is energy source. Like it helps light up a place, for example. That's the most basic thing you can use it for. But in this case, the crystal can be used for communication devices. Where the fuck is the... there it is. So here you go. Is it the voice chat? There you go. Voice chat. This should be a large... Oh shit, 3.2 megabyte. So as I'm double clicking, okay, look at the right hand side. Okay, gourd, relay cell, grape forest. I was actually taking pictures at my local fruit and veg of how pumpkins and gourds look like. And it's like, oh, okay, let's use the round one. So you use a knife, cut the top bit so that you have a lid and a base. You insert the crystal into the flesh, tie it up with vine, and there you have it. You can actually just listen through and talk through it and blah blah blah. It records data. So what happened was the reason why he says it's like a direct. Should I use that voice acting? Actually, we should do the voice acting thing. You did a really good job doing the voices. Actually, lovely.
Thank you.
Bane and Ursat's doing it too. It's like negative. Ballad labyrinths, many passages are treacherous, even for experienced guides. A direct assault in our current state would result in dire casualties. And suddenly, though, I believe information often produces reversals of fortune. And it's like, so it's saying, oh, what's this? And as you can see, Julia's like listening. This was actually stolen by one of the persecutors. Persecutors are the very agile group. They're the scouts. Okay. Let me look for this concept sketch of the scouts. Sorry. And these folks, they managed to steal this communication device that housed a lot of important information about the strategy of what they're about to do to this group, Crimson Clutch. Because they're basically stuck in the mountain. They have to find an escape route. And there's a horde of army of like these good guys waiting to to infiltrate them. But now...
Are they truly good?
Ooh, from what I read on the script...
Not really.
I'm not gonna... I shouldn't
All right.
say. Maybe because
The lesser evil.
I was like, ass-kicking time. And I'm looking forward to drawing that scene. There's a lot of sword fights, use of cleidomantic abilities. Yeah, it's just insane. I'm like, shit, how am I gonna fit an army of 100 people, 50 against 100 and all this stuff? It's gonna be interesting. So those are persecutors. See, they're very agile. Remember the where are you folks? The big fat, not fat, the the heavy hitters. Okay, so there's two classes in Crimson Clutch for me to design based on Gabriel's script, and these are persecutors, as you saw, the agile people who are scouts, and they're assassins, and then these are the big hard hitters. These are the legionnaires, and as you can see, they were shown on the previous page where they were sharpening the blades and the axes. Okay, so yeah, this dude, the gourd and everything, just listen through, and you can see her reactions like, and that's why initially there was like a moment where Gabriel plotted out details about the strategy or what was said. I said, no, leave that. Let the visuals do the talking. This will cause intrigue for the reader to like say, holy shit, like what's Julia reacting to based on the information given? Could this improve their chances of escaping? It's like, yeah, so. And I like how she says it. Analyze the record, little scholar. Bitch! You little scholar. It's like, you remember the other chat that day when I was saying that's the reason why I hired somebody to help me write this, because I can't write shit like this. I write basic, hey, my name is Sonic the Hedgehog. The other day I was reading out, oh my god, that was so funny. I was like, yes, this motivates me. I love the discussion. Like, he's putting a voice in Silas, Julia, Aona, Ashworth, everyone. Everyone speaks differently. I'm impressed by that. Oh, not the same voice.
One thing that I find fascinating is how his name's A&R, right? The green lizard guy.
That's
Ashworth. How his disposition changes. Like in the beginning, you think this guy is going to be like the main antagonist. He's so lethal, violent, and here he's just.
I'm so glad. Go, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, and then here it's no longer the case. He's confused. He's lost. He doesn't want to do this.
He's a good guy. He was brought up from the Commonwealth, the same place where Ashworth was brought up. In fact, let me show you if you guys remembered.
But that character change is intentional, right? How he starts off confident with this Edenspell that he has, and then
so he was imprisoned wrongfully, and that's why he says like, why I don't deserve to die like this. He was wrongfully accused. Oh well, no, actually, he was part of what. Should I go into the backstory? Kind of. Okay, so Crimson Clutch, like, let's just say he got kidnapped, held hostage. You better do this because you're smart enough to figure out where the bonds of confluence are to help us revive Ehrlich. So they had to utilize his resourcefulness and intelligence and research because he's a scholar, and he was actually away from the Commonwealth to study. That's his path. Whereas Ashworth trained to be a swordsman. Remember? So now. And then, like, you can see he's frustrated. It's like, how do I get out? I'm going to die. He's the last one to be hanged. Apparently, the folks said, see? Remember this? If you go to chat here. Sorry, let me just post it on the voice chat. He was about to be hanged. This individual is guilty of association with the Crimson Clutch, which seeks to plunge Dragnock as in the city, because they were think Dragnock as the Germans, like they were responsible for like the mass killings and all that way back, because they are the descendants of Dragnock, Erlich, the Dragon God of Flames, right? So the Dragon God of Flames, his ultimate goal, or the deity's ultimate goal, is chaos, death, and destruction. So now these guys are like, oh shit, we don't want to relive that past. We don't want to be the guys responsible for World War II. You know, that's kind of situation. So yeah, horrid creature, kill him already. And then it's like, and then suddenly the Edenspell came to him by coincidence. It's just by fate how he came, and you know, the only way for you to escape is to have my power, you see. And so he had no choice, because our owner's will to live is stronger than just giving up. So he had to find a way out. So hence he had to give in to the contract of, okay, take my soul, you got to get me out. And so that's why you see the evil, like he's grinning. And then, as you can see, like we were hoping to give you like hints, like this guy was actually a good guy a long time ago when we were showing Ashworth, especially the scene. So this bit where Ashworth and Marty, yeah, the three childhood friends. See, they were kids. They were like together a long time ago, and just went their separate paths. That's all. And
Gotcha.
Now Ash is like, oh shit, like please don't tell me he died. See, I want to like, as you can see the flashback here. Let me go to that page. We're gonna get back to these two lovebirds. Oh man. Oh
Don't
dear.
even.
No, because I have to study good, tasteful positions.
Oh no! Don't do a sex scene.
What are you talking about?
Don't.
I am. I told you this a long time ago. That was the plan. We were doing this, but
Yes.
with
I know.
taste. With taste, not like a freaking porno. No.
Their faces look like they belong in a PBS channel.
I see. You're being sarcastic. Okay, so yeah.
Are you doing the nasty in this Christian comic book?
Hey man.
How dare you?
Christian. Oh my god. Yeah. That's so funny. But if Black Sad did it, hey man, that's why, man.
That's because it was R-rated.
That's not
R-rated.
This is pretty R-rated too. There's a lot of blood and gore.
Yeah, it's not R-rated. 18.
It seems to be like, even though it's weird because Elson and Gabe, I don't know if Gabriel watched it, but Game of Thrones. This is very Game of Thronesy.
Oh, is it?
Very dark fantasy.
Oh well, people are dying. People will be dying in this comic, and we better make sure that happens.
I do have a question now.
Yeah, go for it.
With bird folk, how do they sort of eat? Sort of like normal birds?
Normal birds. Gabriel's going to clarify with me about their reproductive organs and all that stuff. You know, like how I said, oh shit, yesterday I said, I thought birds, okay, they're avians, as we know, but we actually call them featherkin. So I thought the featherkin and drakens the lizards, who were once ancestors of the first walkers, they don't have nipples or mammary glands. Okay, mammal gland. Yeah, that glands. So no nipples, no navels. And then I was thinking, oh shit, so Julia doesn't have a vagina? I'm like, how does this work? They lay eggs? That's why I was a bit shocked. I was like, oh shit, I thought we discussed that it's gonna be like a normal birth, like humans kind of thing, but no. Apparently, he was gonna. When I go to Singapore and Malaysia, and we run through the rewrite scripts for Spell 3, which is Chapter 3, he's gonna run me through how the reproduction process works for featherkins and drakens. So it's gonna be interesting. So yeah, food. We just normal food, like vegetarian stuff.
Will
fish.
Oh, just normal.
Yeah.
So say like certain birds eat certain. It's like, oh. A bearded vulture, it eats bone.
Oh, I see what you mean. Nah, no, it's not like not like in Beastars, like carnivores and herbivores situation. No. We just eat.
Where is my food?
Oh man, but yeah, I'm glad you guys are you've been following this journey so far. So
I can't believe you're gonna do a sex scene. Holy shit.
Oh wait, so
Okay.
you weren't joking? I thought.
No. Like,
okay.
like, no. Are you really gonna? I mean, okay, no spoilers, but good luck. Good luck.
I said this so many times. I thought you called it.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you meant by love. We were like, kissing, and then
okay.
they walking in the forest.
No.
And talking, like up.
Okay, here. So let me show you how Black Sad did it. Okay.
Okay.
Have you read Black Sad? Damn it!
No.
I know you would have read that because you're into comics. Usagi Yojimbo.
Black Sad is absolutely a rated R comic.
Oh, whoops!
Flat out.
Yeah.
Rated
I'll give it that.
R.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely. It is a rated R comic.
Ooh.
If it was a film, it would be R.
Well,
there's no getting out of that one.
Well, the new
Yes.
And Game of Thrones would be rated R, or probably not even be able to be rated in order to be released if it was released in a theater.
I'm gonna.
And since 17.
Yeah.
What is?
Hot stuff is
Just know that if you proceed with the scene, it's not one you'll be able to come back from, and it will limit your audience. There is a specific type of warning you will have to list, or basically, it'll have to say for mature readers only on it.
Yep. Time to break the stereotypes. I don't want to be told like, the audience is.
Yeah, I know.
If they don't like it, then get the hell out. Don't read it. Who cares? Like, we're doing this because we want to tell our story. I understand. Don't worry, I've done my research, but I'm going with this path. So let's have a look. Black Sad in the Goodreads.
Lakeseed.
Where's the rating details? No, that's just how many people liked it. Where's the freaking? I want an official saying, like, the rating.
Based on the images, the language used, and the graphicness of the violence. It hits every criteria for an R rating.
Not the latest book. Have you read Amarillo? There was
I have.
Guns. There was no sex scene there. Actually, wait.
No, but language can push it over too.
Yeah.
And it
I don't think
Drift Bomb more than once.
I don't think Dreamkeepers is
rated R.
I don't think Dreamkeeper is gonna have any sex scenes.
No.
Even Dave said it. It's not gonna have them.
That's
yeah.